All right. Well, we're back. We're back, baby. And it's going to be an interesting session. But, recapping a little bit of last session, you guys all made it to, after finding out from Ladash, Fernanif, the island south of the Ilias jungle. Got to see his magnificent bar that he had created for himself and his tribe, as well as other individuals that aren't technically from his tribe, but have now engrossed themselves as part of their community. Unfortunately, one of these individuals that engrossed themselves in this community was also there for a different reason, to find Rachel. Jacob, aka the Bear Man, that some people have started calling him, also known as Istra's Last Hand, confronted the group, specifically trying to confront Rachel, who was doing Rachel things and being in a dark corner. But eventually, calling Rachel out, telling him that he needs to die tonight, and that through the good graciousness of some persuasion checks and the fact that this wasn't against anyone else but Rachel, and so he shouldn't ruin Ladash's stuff, went outside to have this battle, eventually Rachel sneaking his way out there as well. During this time, Polly communed with Brulison. Kaporin talked to Varen. Polly came back with a little bit of information saying that the Deathwalker was very close, which then set off all Nori's bells. And warned Kaporin against using his loot any further, as Luke was on the tipping point. But the battle raged outside between Jacob and Rachel, and eventually it came to a point where Rachel felt something inside and heard a voice in his head asking if he would like some assistance. Rachel had another ace up his sleeve, but said, sure, you can go ahead and give it a try. As Trentimir pulled his visage out from inside Rachel, and to everyone's knowledge, did away with Jacob in a way no one knows. But by the end of this, and going back inside, Rachel's Trentimir piece was slightly larger. And with the door closed and the problem dictated to Ladash that the Deathwalker is scarily close, Ladash promised to put a no-go on the door, not allowing anyone to enter or exit until about 10 a.m. the next morning. This allowed you guys to feel a modicum of safety, as much as it can allow. And Nori, Bryn, and Polly went and had a little sleepover in the girls' room, just in case something popped off in the middle of the night and they needed to get out of there. Rachel found his way into the topmost portion of the rafters that he could. No one tell him that there's multiple floors above. And Kaporin curled up in a corner with Bella sleeping on top of him, while Amric found a spare room to sleep in for the night. And he specifically said, like, the first available room. So, the night starts to trickle on. If there's anything people would like to do technically before they go to sleep right now, this would be the time.
Yeah. So everyone was kind of heading to bed, and Nori was planning on going as well. But just...
Yeah, everyone's already in their corners. So this is... You guys are in your room if there's anything you want to do here.
And Nori's sitting on the bed and just goes, do we know that this place would even keep it out?
I doubt it.
Probably not.
If it was as close as you said, then it could show up nap and then rip through the. We wouldn't have enough time to react.
I don't know about that, but still, I know where you're going with this.
It happened so fast last time.
So, go? Like, it's up to you guys. I have the spell prepared. I have nothing else left after that. So I cannot, unless you want me to pop a divine intervention, which seems to go kind of wrong as well as right at the same time.
You just need to be more specific.
I feel like that's most of our plans, though.
We can't outrun it here. We physically can't.
Nope, and we need sleep. We all need sleep, not just you or me, but everyone does. We haven't.
Yeah, we need
for a
sleep,
while.
but we're not going to be able to get sleep if this thing shows up. When this thing shows up.
Correct.
Picking up that I don't think we have time to sleep.
No, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. So should we wake everybody up and go? Or do we want to wait till the very last second so that it has longer? Or do we want it to destroy this place?
I'd rather not destroy this
accident?
place. I'd rather us just... Because we could get to Kember, and then I can get us to our parents' home. It'd be dicey, but we could bring all of us, or some of us.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I can only take 5 other people besides myself.
So no Bella, no Castian.
Bella, no Castian, yeah. And I don't want to leave her behind. I really don't. She's as much a part of this group as... She's been here longer than I have from the beginning. So...
We need to talk to them.
Let's go do it.
I just have a bad feeling. Yeah, I know I have a bad feeling all the time, but I ignored the bad feeling when we were in the jungle not to go down in that hole, and then this is what happened.
Don't worry, I understand. We can go do it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So we get up and go downstairs. And I'll grab Emmerich on the way.
Nora would go look for Castian.
Without talking with him to find out where he is, I mean, a bunch of these rooms are closed doors. And you guys sort of bounced before he found a room, so...
If anything, we can leave a note.
The dash is still up.
I can call him tomorrow, too.
Yeah, let's go talk to Ladash then.
Okay.
So Amric was grabbed, and then Kaparin and Racha are down here.
Well, Racha's more of a down-up situation, but yeah.
He's in this
He's
room.
in the
He's up
room.
on the ceiling.
He didn't hide the fact that he was going up there.
Even if you did hide it, it's like, where does Racha sleep? He sleeps at the highest point. Where's the highest point? You look up. If you can't be outside, you gotta just look up inside.
So, Gaporin's still tucked in the corner with Bella sleeping on him.
Kaparin, we might be needing to leave, or some of us. Okay, where's Ladash?
Kaparin fashion. What?
Deathwalker, close, problem, we can't outrun it.
Where?
We don't know.
Oh, I need coffee.
Suck it up, buddy.
You've been asleep for 5 minutes.
That was such a good 5 minutes.
Okay, Nori leaves him, goes find Ladash.
Yeah, Ladash is currently cleaning up the far section of the bar.
Man, you need to work on your spell. You're supposed to have like unseen servants do that shit.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit creepy. They were around for a while. I've left them on the 8th floor because just phasing through things really sort of broke the vibe down here.
I guess, but like having to do all this shit yourself. Anyway, that's not
character.
why we're down here.
Yeah, we're kind of worried about. We don't know if we can stay because of the Deathwalker thing, or at least Bryn can't. So we might have to. Polly has word of recall. It would take us back to Kember. We need to let Castian know.
It's a pretty strong word.
Apparently, I don't know much about the spell.
Oh, it's a spell. Okay. I'm not the spell type. But you guys do what you have to do, honestly. It's all about your safety and living to fight another day, so you decisions what you can. Castian seems pretty bent out of shape about his boat, which is completely understandable. So,
yeah.
I mean, seeing the mess that you guys brought in, I understand he's got a little bit of special sauce with the boat as well, but I'm still looking at probably at least a week's worth of repairs.
Okay, yeah, a week will be good. If everything goes perfectly, we should be back in a week. If things go less than perfectly, then 2.
All right,
We'll keep in touch.
I can let him know. He said that whatever my timeline would be, half it for his special sauce. So 3-4 days.
Okay. Do we all want to go? Because we're just bamfing into Kember, and there's a whole ass war thing going on. And
I mean, if
Bella-
we
Your
try to
house-
come right back, we're just
Bella's
meeting at halfway.
looking at everybody and going, "There's too many of us."
yeah,
Yeah, we know. That's the other problem. But we don't have too much time to talk about it either.
I'm giving us 5 minutes starting now.
So should it just
She
be the
she
3 of us
like,
so that we can
deadpans
travel
you for a
quickly?
second, Nori. Like, I think I should probably stay because I'm the only other Fae person here, and if Castian needs help with Fae magic, I'd really be the only. I mean, I don't know about the Farron people. I'm not sure if they're Fae specifically, but I don't got a lot,
Yeah.
but I got something. And the only other person out of the group who might be of some assistance is Racha. But I'm not sure how much magical carpentry he's done. Though
Am I hearing this at this point?
yeah. They
Yeah, we
made
would've
enough of a
invited.
stink and try to find you that they would have either brought you down or said, "Hey, we're having a meeting."
I'd
I mean, Caperin wants to stay.
I'd probably have started meditating to see if like Acacia has any sort of sense of feelings.
Okay, go ahead and make an insight check. Kaporin, I mean, as shitty as it seems, shouldn't you probably just see if she's still alive?
Who's
Rashi?
still alive? Rashi. I mean, we
Oh,
can...
yeah, Bella, I tried to get a hold of her and I couldn't.
Did you try to get a hold of Belar? Or Rashi's mom?
I did. I tried to get a hold of all 3 of them when we came out of that temple, and I didn't get any of them.
Well, did you find any
I'm sorry, I forgot to
answers
tell you.
on what happened?
It was essentially... Was it them being protected?
Oh, that's not what it felt like.
Okay. Then it might be the other timeline that I'm thinking about.
I mean, I was in Kember for a long time and I didn't find them.
Okay. 3 minutes.
As much... She deadpan faces you again. As much of a problem as Kamporin can be, he's can step up when he needs to. So I feel like him going with you guys, I would feel better about it than him being bored enough to summon his dad here and then starting some new shit. Kaporan goes, and then Bella just...
Amric, do you want to stay? Do you want to come?
I go with Bryn. And the bird.
That leaves Racha.
It's up
You
to
coming?
buddy.
She's like over in the corners holding his bow in his hands and just like eyes closed, legs crossed.
You get that she doesn't have any objections to you go.
Honestly, my first instinct is staying here. But I also understand what's at stake with the other way around.
Just putting it out there, we're walking into a shit show. One way or the other.
Ladash, do you have an object from here that I can borrow and bring back?
I mean, technically, how big do you want it?
I just something I could fit in my pocket. Doesn't need to be big at all.
As he's like
This is
reaching over to grab one of the figureheads and goes, "Oh, pocket."
like something from this island.
Yes, not from in here.
I mean, I got this. And he pulls out from his pocket a puka shell necklace.
So it's from this island within the last like 6 months.
I've been working on it. It's pretty.
It's
much
actually
done.
pretty awesome.
Thank you.
It actually looks really good.
It's going for the bohemian look. But yeah, all these shells are, I mean, technically from here. I got them on the shore.
Yeah, I think a shell would work.
There's a tree knocked down outside if you want to just like go get a branch.
They don't want to open the door.
If we probably could, if the Deathwalker was here, we'd just rip through, wouldn't it?
The door?
We don't know.
You don't know. You guys have never encountered it with buildings before.
And we know that Ladash locked it to the best of his ability.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just put a no-go. I mean, I have the key, so I could let you guys out, but that'd be kind of counterintuitive to me being like, "No one goes outside," and then being like, "Except for you guys, you can go outside. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, I'd take a shell if you'd be willing.
He just hands you the whole necklace.
Oh, cool. I'll put that in my bag in the little safe pouch she has.
Goliath-sized puka shell necklace.
This like giant, like, all right.
It's one
she's
of those
like, "Gotta
necklaces
put it in
where
the
they
smaller
hand it to
place."
you, and you're like, "Oh, this is cool," and then it like
The full
it
way.
folds down once more, and you're like, "Oh shit."
All right, gently put that in my bag. All right. I'll get this back to you. Who's coming? Who's staying?
Bella
I'm,
just pushes Kaporan forward and flips back to Ladash.
I'm more inclined to stay, in all honesty.
Then we will see you in a week. Hopefully, if all goes well.
All right.
I'll check in every other day until you tell me not to, or tell me to do it more. Okay? He's talking to you, Racha.
Yeah, I know. He's very conscious about like what he's actually just deciding, and he's very torn on it still. I know it's not easy for you to get back here, but is there a way for me to get back there?
Ladash shakes
Like-
his head like that wizard comes by once a year. And we
During
have,
this, Bryn's gonna go say bye to Bella.
and we have no way of summoning him, so this is completely... I mean, we could sail you up there. You said Kember? So,
Yeah,
that's
Not what. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I was saying more like, could you do a home? What was it? Word of home? Something
Word of recall?
that works.
No, I can't bring people to me. I can only go to some place that I've designated.
Yeah, I was thinking like you could do it into the gem, and then I could do from the gem, if necessary.
you would still
If I'd
need
have
this-
known that,
If you had a second item, yeah.
yeah, if I'd have known that, I would have done it earlier, but I don't. I only have one spell left that's powerful enough to do it now.
Okay, then we need to make a decision.
I think we just did.
Bella kind of just
All right, Richa.
takes your giant hand, Bryn, and just...
No, Nori,
Oh,
Nori will
hug?
also go
What?
say goodbye to Bella.
We're
Oh,
going to be gone for a
Hugs
week.
hugs are for goodbyes. This is just see you later.
And see you later.
Chaw's like, I'm not happy about it, but it does feel correct. And he'll like look at Amric, who said he was going, and like, did you want the beer mugs?
Honestly, I'd probably just throw it. So, why don't you hold on to it for me?
Fair enough. Okay.
So, Amric will give Bella the look, and Bella will razzle-dazzle Kaporin for a second with fake tears and a hug to his face while there's a handoff. Any and all things needed over to Richella.
All right,
Amric
let's
will
do it.
just- Amric will... Are you sure, Richella?
What about me staying?
Yeah.
I'm very torn about it. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like I was supposed to help Castian, right? Or is that just not? Maybe we've already helped him.
I don't think he needs anybody's help. He just needs time.
I mean, we're here to help. We'll help him whatever way we can.
He's got plenty of help. But this is your decision.
Yeah, I'll come with you guys then. It just both ways don't feel right, in all honesty. But I'd rather be with you guys.
Amric says, you should probably still hold on to all that, though.
How much did you give me?
Just in case my throwing arm starts to get itchy again.
I'm already holding your javelins.
Maybe I should keep those, because those are meant for throwing.
Yeah, I've had like 6 javelins in my quiver.
Okay, why don't you give me 3 of them? You know what? We'll figure this out once we're there.
All right, let's do it.
Because if we're jumping into a Duragar home, I'm not sure how much headroom I'm going to have, and I don't need a javelin also being there.
Yeah, you two might want to hunt. All 3 of you might want to hunch down just a little bit. I don't want your head to get stuck in the ceiling. That'd be gross.
That would solve some interesting problems, though.
The spell unfortunately doesn't work like that, and you'd be shunted outside where I don't want you right now. So bend down,
Huddle up.
and I will cast it.
Chaw curls into a ball.
Alright. So, Bella with the dash waves goodbye to you all. And Word of Recall gets casted. A brief shining golden sheen of light sort of circumvents you guys for a moment. And it pushes in and it feels warm, but not like just like a heat of warmth, but almost like the feeling of when you start to get buzzed. Just that like slight tingle to the cheeks and to the ears, and everything just feels good and warm and just like a nice warm blanket just hugging you. And then it disappears and you guys are in utter darkness.
I'll walk to the door and open it up.
Okay.
And then I will go to my bedroom and wake up.
Hold on.
Okay.
You open the door, or you unlock the door and push it open, and it boom, it opens up like 2 inches, then hits something hard, like another piece of furniture.
Can I force it open?
Go ahead and give me an athletics check. A little crack of light at the seam does pour in, though, allowing at least some visage of light to enter in here.
27.
All right. You sort of, and you're like, funny. You just like, and just give it a nice good elbow, and just slides open, and Polly even kind of like takes a couple steps in. Emmerich. And Bryn. Go ahead and give me dex saves. Why is this not going? Is it just like taking forever from it going to D&D Beyond to... Okay, we're about to have like 30 rolls from me, or no rolls from me. We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, it's just not rolling. Alright, Rachel, go ahead and give... Oh, wait, there they all are. And there they all are.
You want to average those or just grab the...
I'm grabbing the first one.
14.
Yeah. Hey, at least they finally all came through. Alright, so... and then there's all of it on my other D&D... roll 20. Okay. So... It's pretty cramped in the room you guys are in. It's not made for all of you guys, especially the 3 larger individuals that are in here. And so as soon as the door opens, it's almost like a breath of fresh air, and Bryn just kind of goes, ugh, like, thank you. Right behind Polly, who, like, with the force that he opened that door, almost falls past it and barely catches himself just on the precipice of an edge. And Bryn reaches out and grabs his back and holds him as he's dangling about 45 degrees over just this cliff. You guys can see now, out into the Kember area, destruction and ruin, fire, half the discs split off and cut. All the alcoves that are in the side of the molehole mines have either been sheared off or are currently ablaze. Some of these long, thin ropes and ladders and lines that reached out from the center spire out to these sides, left dangling, twisted around, and upon all this stuff, all this wreckage, you're seeing multiple signs of bodies, debris. Just, it looks like at one point the section of this side of the spire probably got cleaved in two, as now that you guys have this opening, you can look up and down, and it looks almost like a clean, solid cut down all the discs from this side of the middle pillar.
Val, question. For the gem, it makes it so the casting time is 1 action no matter what the spell is.
Yeah.
I have Windwalk in there. I've had Windwalk in there.
Okay.
Would it take us a minute to turn into clouds, or are we instantly clouds?
It would still take a minute for you to activate that portion of the spell.
Nori just very quietly goes, I'm going to cast Windwalk, okay?
Okay, pull me back, pull me back, pull me back, pull me back.
Poked his head out from the door. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either.
Nori casts Windwalk, and it's just like, focus on being a cloud.
The area is quiet, but you hear the as new pieces of debris from below down the discs seems to fall off and fall further down the hole. You hear the as this seems recent.
Do I need to think about being a cloud?
Yes.
No, why?
Just like-
I don't even know how to do that.
Just
He hasn't done this before.
you're a druid now. You can do this.
He wanted a teacher.
He will consider himself flying. That's about the best he could do.
Good enough.
It takes a minute, just a minute, to turn into clouds. So,
After a minute, Racha being the last one, maybe a minute 15, but eventually everyone becomes clouds.
we stealthy clouds.
There's about only so much stealth that you can be as a cloud, which is already pretty high. So it's more or less sort of mixing in with the blackened smoke and just sort of riding the currents. I feel like
Yeah,
there's
I
probably
think
a lot of other shit going on right now that a couple clouds aren't really going to be anyone's problem.
Yeah, okay, so we go from imagining ourselves as clouds to imagining ourselves as wisps of smoke among the destruction of this city. What do we see?
Okay, so you guys push yourselves out and start to glide into the air around here. You can see now solidly that you can get a side view of it and it being cleaved. The different discs all, think of taking a quarter and cutting it in half, and that's what these discs look like. Like, you can see the shear mark of the solid metal discs just cleanly cut, and the different deformities of the metal inside as whatever process that was used to create them. You see multiple half buildings, just complete ruined buildings. Not even the buildings on the side that didn't get cleaved off have also incurred destruction to some degree. It looks as if a village was taken and ransacked, raided, and lit on fire, but placed that in this disc setting and put them all on top of each other rather than just like an open village of some sort. There are bodies strewn everywhere. There are animals strewn everywhere because they were the things that were mainly kept in the sidewalls of the molehole mine, used for transportation and for working down in the mine as well. It seems that when the fires came in, they tried leaping, or whatever came in and did all this also took them out in the process. The wires that had connected, and the bridges and the ropes and the pulley systems that they had connecting to these things as well have all been frayed, cut, tangled with bodies inside them. Different, because there are not only rope, but there are also metal cables and wires. Just all sorts of destruction and chaos just everywhere, all up and down. And you can see, now that half the disc is missing, how many discs go down, which is roughly about 25 discs. All of them cleaved from top to bottom.
And it's like a single line.
It looks like
down.
looks like as if a giant samurai came and just went shing and just cut all of these discs together. It looks like one solid cut from the top disc of Kember all the way to the very bottom disc of Kember had been completely cut in half. And the ruin and destruction that followed of not only all the discs falling down on themselves and then back into the spire and then further down into the molten mine that resides at the bottom, but also the sheer fact of whatever happened probably created backblasts and backfire to ignite the rest of Kember. Welcome, Cor. Kember's destroyed.
I think he's fiddling with his headset still, so he might not have actually heard anything yet. Yeah.
He'll come into it, it's fine. But as far as what you can see beyond that, beyond just the initial destruction of everything going on, and as you guys rise further and further up, and to the area that resides just outside of the top disc, on the actual land that is the entrance point to the Mole 9, most of these buildings are still intact. And it seems that all sorts of either refugees or survivors or triage, everything is being set up here, because there is no other place. The closest thing that you guys have to Kemper is Qatar's house. And that's it. Kemper is a very isolated and remote area.
So, as we're rising, looking at the slice, does it look like the slice came from top to bottom, or does it look like it erupted from the bottom up?
It's such a clean and almost precise cut that you can't tell. If you sat there and studied, maybe you could figure it out. Kind of working with the grain in trying to see, if metal did bend at some point, which angle it bent at. But just sort of gliding past it, it's too impossible to find out. But you do know, now that you guys are getting to the top of it, that the entire spire no longer sits, at least still straight up and down. It now is cocked at an angle of about 15 degrees, away from the side with the cut. And once you guys get to the very top and start to rise up and over this entire area, you can also see, and Polly, you knew this, the staging area for all the war machines, just north of the city itself. It's been completely leveled. Just rows upon rows, probably 40, 50, 60 of these differentiating types of war machines, from these divine catapults to the sort of Hellfire ballista. All these things that the Durgar were making for the war have all been decimated and almost left to ash.
If I had the chance, I wouldn't have gone up with everybody immediately. I would have obviously flown around and to see if I could identify some of the bodies, neighbors, family, all that stuff, just in case.
Looking around the immediate vicinity on the disc that you had your home, a couple people that you offhand recognize, but no one of immediate import.
I probably can't catch up to the group since I can't see them.
I was just ignoring. What can I do as a cloud?
Go fast.
Yeah.
Go even faster.
Cool. How do I stop?
You stop like how you just think about stopping, like how you think about stopping your feet.
So what if I accidentally think about stopping while I'm flying through the air for a minute and just daydream?
If you daydream, you stop in the middle of the air, and you would be stuck in one place the entire time. So we would notice if you were doing that. Why are we talking about this? Everything is on fire and there are dead bodies everywhere. Poor Polly. Oh, the toasted bagel. That's awful.
You're saying it for Caparin.
Yeah.
To see if he can hear us.
We can't hear you now.
You can hear us. We can't hear you. Now check your input device.
Hello?
There you go.
Yay!
My headphones just was no, we're not working today. So all of my audio settings are wrong.
Not today, mortal.
Long story short, Kember is gone.
Half.
Half gone?
Half.
It's been cut in half and
Yeah.
everything is on
It's just
fire.
split. That's all.
The fuck?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
I'll eat that.
Yeah, Bertrand will start making his way towards that camp, presumably that it
Be
is
cautious.
non-threatening. Yeah. He will approach with care.
Yeah. Stay. Make yourself look like smoke as much as possible.
But now you just see this Rachaw cloud going.
Yeah, he wiggles his whole way there. He's just like flailing around as he goes.
This is new to Polly, Racha, and co-parents. They're like, we have no practice with this.
Polly's pretty. It's magic. It's not that hard. It's just a different kind. He's more worried about getting places and looking for people than he is how he looks.
That was a deception check. It's actually 25.
No, it's not a deception check, but luckily other people have enough going on in their minds right now to not look at this weird puff of smoke.
So the town's just half of it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Vertically or horizontally?
Vertically. Top to bottom.
I hate to say it, but I'm not surprised. This is where they were making everything for the war, basically. Been their first move, I'm sure. First big move, at least.
Is the fluffy Pegasus still here?
You can go look.
Can I slap Kaporin's cloud?
No, unfortunately you can't.
The only action you can take is the dash action.
I told you we should have brought Bella. If I can catch up to them. Can I? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
they're more taking everything in and then going to...
Yeah.
the
I hate to say it, you guys, but take less in and get someplace safe and get some sleep now.
Yeah.
We can deal with this later. We just need someplace safe to sleep so that we can get that thing off our ass.
We'll go a couple miles out.
Or we can find someplace in the city that's abandoned.
Do you really want to show up Ixians? I know technically we're not, but this timeline's different.
And things are still crumbling. Like, there's no guarantee that this place isn't all going to be collapsed in on itself. I'd rather not be in the hole.
Okay. I mean, it's just that there's just plains on both sides. There's no really good place to hide. But yeah, if you want to, let's just find someplace safe and go to sleep. Because we're all tired already.
Essentially,
The docks
yeah, Kenori...
aren't too far away. The docks that you ended up basically meeting Amric at.
Yeah, the ones north of Qatar.
Yeah. The small docks that the people use to get to...
Is Silver still there? Is all of our horses still at that?
No, they were
Different
brought
timeline.
back to Kember.
Well, they were never, because they were the town that was using them, that basically said, we're going to home them, but we're going to use them for fishing to bring our supplies back and forth.
Yeah. You guys use that as trade to get onto the boat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Josh still wants to check out that
Yeah.
refugee place before.
Okay. Yeah, you float over it, and a lot of them, there's a stockpile of bodies that are going on right now. At least the ones that were either brought with or safe enough to get to. There is a large triage area that's currently being helmed by a few different individuals. And Richard, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Almost the worst, but I was mostly just trying to see if this was Ixian or if this was Sidian.
Well, what you do see is Reminiscence looks to be some sort of high elven officer. is here, and an interesting person standing with the elven officer that you've never seen before, but seems to be of pretty high importance. You've never seen them, but the character you played in a certain dinner has seen them.
We need to get away from here.
Not that person.
Do I know who they are? I wouldn't want Rachada. I mean, I'm looking for Otis and Devin on offhand. I'm not like gonna stop or anything, but I'm kind of glancing around as well.
Make
if
a
it's
perception
okay.
check.
Okay.
As much as you want to look, you don't want to look. And that's sort of... It's like watching a horror movie, and you know a jump scare's about to happen, but you want to see what's going on, and you kind of do the thing, and it's just pretty much that the entire time, because you know you have something else to do, and you need to be focusing on that right now, and... Unfortunately, the way it goes, not knowing is better than knowing the worst. Because at least there's...
Well, I'll find out for sure tomorrow.
Exactly. But you guys take your way. Rachad, the person that you saw next to the elven individual, the reason why they stood out is not only the armor that they're wearing, but the fact that they look human. A human male with black hair seems to be very angry and shouting some things, but too far off to really catch what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm not approaching or anything. I just was more curious of like, is this a war camp of the enemy that did this, or is this a refugee camp of trying to salvage things?
Yeah, seems like the latter. But with that, you guys tear off and start heading to the area where you guys first met Amric. Because there is an abandoned cabin at that location that you guys utilized in the last time. And make it there in record time, because clouds. And go into the cabin, close it. It's got only one door. Burnt on fire. It's got the one front door, and only the kitchen, the living room, and like sort of the back cleanup room. You're guessing this is where they probably gut and clean fish on bad weather days. Which there is a small slit at the back here that looks like whatever bits that get left over, they sort of just sweep it outside. But there is no actual door back here. But it again is abandoned, and just like last time, no supplies or provisions are in here. It's just a place for them to sleep when either the weather's too bad for them to go out and fish, or they get in too late. Whatever the case may be, it smells heavily in fish in here, so Rachad's stomach starts gurgling, and at least it's quiet, secluded. No one has an idea that you're here. And you shouldn't be bothered until the morning, if that.
I don't think any... Compare might talk, but Nori's just fucking silent.
Luckily, Kaporan still has his bagel.
Shaw keeps like trying to come out of the cloud, but he gets distracted and forgets to get himself out of the cloud, and he has to keep resetting the 1 minute timer. It's like, God damn it.
It's mainly Kaporan eating like every 45 seconds. You just hear the Rachad is like, huh? Damn it!
Warren would come out of cloud, and he's like, well, I just need a short rest.
No, we need sleep.
Did you use the shotgun?
Shaw will Take last watch as usual.
Nori will
Polly's
take
just going to
first
crawl up in a
watch.
corner and fall asleep.
Yeah, the front living room has a couple chairs and a couch. So that there's at least places to get a modicum of cushion to sleep with.
Shaw's on the roof still.
Okay.
Rachel, maybe not roof tonight. You can sleep in the rafters, though.
He's in the process of removing the weather vane.
He's like, I mean, shouldn't we know something is coming?
Yeah, I guess you're the stealthiest motherfucker in the world. Yeah, sure, as long as you're hidden.
He takes the place of the weather vane.
Looks identical to the chicken on top.
He's seen enough flamingos to know how to sleep on one foot. Alright. And so, night goes. First few watches go by uninterrupted. Not quite the beginning of your watch, Rachel. Maybe half hour before someone was going to come up and wake you up for your watch. You get woken up by this just sort of extra noise that comes out of nowhere. And it's enough to not get drowned out by the constant sound of the waves hitting the shore and sort of the constant breeze wind noise going on. So you crack open an eyelid and start to look around. I'm not sure what the noise is. You catch it here and there between the wind when it picks up and when it dies down. It's almost like a small hum. And you're just thinking to yourself, what is that? You start to take a look around. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Looking around, you're having a hard time. It's still not close to sunrise yet. And you're peering, and you look back in the direction you guys came, and you can see the slight orange glow in the sky off in the distance and where Kember's at. The smoke that billows from the top of it and has started to spread across the sky, giving a much more darker, ominous vibe to that area than the normal, partly cloudy night sky from where you guys are at currently. Trying to figure out what that hum is. It's not consistent. It's not like a machine type hum. It's just this. Go ahead and give me another perception check as you try to just sit there and slightly cover your ears from wind.
Sound familiar? Because I feel like there was something we've dealt with the hum before.
The only thing that you might initially think it might be is siren related, but it's nothing to do with that.
No, my first thought was the hum of the thing that like erupted to in the, was it where the Balrog was?
Oh, gotcha.
The thing that just exploded off in the distance, and like Brendan's like, "What do you see?" And I had nat 20 to 30 in perception, and I was just like, everything.
No, it's not like that. That at least had a bit more consistency to it. But you sit there and you focus, and you try to block out the winds from sort of deafening what you're trying to listen for. And you listen to it, and you realize the reason why it's not consistent is because it's not a consistent sound. And it's actually more of like as you listen, it's more of like a chant. Like, because it's starting to get louder. And you're like, what is... You're looking all around and not seeing anything. But it's almost like many people chanting or singing and coming closer, but from where you don't know.
Yeah, his focus is mostly on the orange glow, just because it's still dark and he can't really see much outside of that light anyways. And if it's all around me, it's
directionless at this moment.
He'll do like periodic checks in the other directions, but like the orange glow is the part that he's gonna have the best chance of seeing something at. So
go ahead and give me another perception check as a little bit more time happens and the noise starts to get louder. You
2, 4, 4, 3 on perception so far.
It starts to get louder, whatever this noise is. And the only reason you say that it might be a hum or a chant is that it seems to have sort of a musical note to it. It's got peaks and valleys and some monotone portions. But you do realize that it is coming from the direction of Kember.
And it is getting louder, approaching us, kind of thing.
It's getting louder.
Whoever's currently on watch, I'd sort of like come down from the roof and see who it was.
Dude, you'd have to open the door. Actually, the front windows are there. So you'd probably see at that point Kaporin.
Hey, so any idea why Kember people would be coming this direction?
This is all through a crack in the window.
Yeah, he like hit you with a pebble from outside the window.
He's all like, hello?
Very Hermione-esque in Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban.
The window, Kaporin. The window.
Is that what my
Like-
head looks like from behind?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, Richard. Not that I know of. They only traded with the village nearby, but I wouldn't think they would come to here for any reason.
The boat that was here before was only like a small fishing vessel.
Yeah, it was a tiny little guy.
A wee one.
A little baby.
Well, something's coming this direction from where we just came from. I say keep everybody fine for now. You should get some rest too, because it's probably the end of your watch anyways, and like hopefully they just pass over us, because they have no need to deal with this dock since nothing's here.
All right. I mean, is there a window that faces that direction?
No.
Mm.
The cabin faces northwards and Kember's southeast. There's only 2 windows on the front.
If he says something's possibly coming towards us, I want to take a peek.
So you're gonna open the door? That I'm pretty sure both Nori, Bryn, Polly would have told you, yeah, don't fucking do that.
You up and down. Do not open the door. Do not go outside. Just stay hunkered down.
Like one of them's probably like sleeping on the door. Let's be real.
Nori's just like curled up in a ball against the door.
Just feet up against the door.
And she's just like curled up against it like a little dog.
Just goes up to Nori's like,
Because the 100 pounds of Nori is gonna totally stop whatever this is.
120, excuse you.
Sorry. Picked up Bryn like she was a chia pet. But Nori's sitting behind the door, fucking impenetrable.
Impenetrable fortress right
I
there.
can be a bear, excuse you.
While you're sleeping.
I mean, door stoppers stop a door,
Yeah,
and they're tiny.
but she's not under the door. She's just next to it.
I mean, she'll certainly end up under the door when it busts down, but hey.
But yeah, Gabor, they would have said not to open any doors tonight. Hence why the window's only tinily cracked open, just to allow some of that fish smell to get out.
It's like, oh, I guess, actually, get Bryn. I just want to double check.
Would Bryn have gotten a long rest at this point?
At this point, no. No one.
I want to like.
no
It's
one
literally
would
just to
back
ask.
us, yeah.
It's literally just to ask her if
Yeah, no,
her
she
thing
can go
made a
back to sleep.
noise as it was approaching. Yeah.
Warren would ask Bryn if anything weird happened when the thing approaches.
So you get
Is that what the question was?
No, the question is, does the noise, or does a noise get made as the thing is approaching?
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
So Bryn is probably in a chair, just crossed arm, RBF, sleeping.
Warren pokes her with a stick because he doesn't want to get within swinging range. He takes his extendo pole and just like, Bryn.
Just like opens one eye. Kaporin. But like whispers it because she doesn't want to wake anybody else up.
He pushes the button, retracts the pole.
Richa asked me to ask you, does the thing make any noises when it's nearby?
Talk to me. That was it. Right? Yeah.
And no weird dreams?
Less it talked to you, and more you.
I heard words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no weird dreams right now?
Just getting woken up by you.
That's a bad dream. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. He goes skittering off to the window. No, it doesn't make any noise.
Okay, cool. Let's not worry about this yet. Then I'll bust down the door if we need to.
Noise behind the door, by the way. I don't know if... Come through the window?
I mean, I guess I just need to make noise.
Shattering through a window would be pretty effective.
Going down the chimney would be too. Mary Richa.
Interesting idea. I will set up a weather vane drop down the chimney. Like
He's starting to
basically
take dimensions of the chimney. We got a spit take, that's all I wanted. And we are good to go.
It wasn't a spit take. I'm just eating candy corn. It was funny.
I was gonna say it was a spit take with food.
Where's
I didn't almost spit it out. Just eating candy corn. Get off my back.
Already
Where's
Why
the
not a
warhead?
warhead? Yeah, exactly. Why not a warhead?
She already ate the warhead and spit it out almost immediately.
It was truly the worst thing I've had to eat in a long time.
So mission successful. All right. So Richa, you go back on top and start looking down the chimney. It is packed in the chimney. Multiple birds have made this chimney their home over probably the last year at least.
Is any actually in there? Is there like a bat? Or
no,
anything?
they're all abandoned.
Oh, he was just gonna be like, "Oh, hello there."
Just like two pigeon families, just absolutely terrified. Just like one of them is like a pigeon Kaporin, and it's about to coo, and the other one just slaps the shit out of it. Like, don't do it. The big bird's outside. But no, all these nests in here are abandoned.
All right, he can't actually make an alarm for everybody then.
But Kaporin, you get to sleep, and Richa, you start your watch. And over the next 20-30 minutes, the noise gets progressively louder. And still same direction. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Just
I'm
not your day to
I'm
perceive
getting
shit.
worse. It's like, how am I getting worse? The noise is getting louder.
You're just getting too
You have a
focused on the
plus
noise.
13.
Yep.
13, and you got a 15.
2, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2. That's my last 5 rolls right now, guys.
For the next 15 more minutes, it gets progressively louder. Go ahead and make another perception check. Almost loud enough as if you should be-
Wonderful.
as you-
What the fuck?
You can't make these things up.
Richard, you falling asleep or what?
I feel like the next one I should have advantage and watch me get double ones.
So, over the next
Close enough to be.
over the next 30 minutes, it's unfortunate. It's almost the mimicry side of you almost takes over, and you get more interested in the noise, in the sort of the sing-songy nature of it, and you're just kind of focusing more on that than trying to take in anything else. And you're just like, ooh, there's a little bass in there. There's a little treble. All right. You're like trying to groove to it. You're like, oh, Kaporn can make a song out of this. Like, oh, I hear a little tss in the background. No, that's nice. I like that. Go ahead and make another perception check.
Do I have advantage?
No, you don't have advantage. You are so engrossed. I should almost give you disadvantage just to keep the net ones rolling. Luckily, you snap out of it. But by this time, it's almost too late, as now you realize that it's so loud that it sounds like it's almost directly beneath you. And that's because it is. Currently moving around the house and through the house, hundreds of spectral spirits of Duragar and a couple other races that you can't pinpoint from what you see seem to be in unison, moving with one another, all sort of. And now that they're closer, you realize they're not humming. These are very deafened screams of them constantly wailing. Ethereal versions of all these souls moving towards the coast. And as you turn around, a familiar demonic ship is anchored off the coast, about 400-500 feet off the coast. Full crew aboard. And another individual is currently standing on the shore as these spectral ghosts are moving past him, as he stands there with his henchmen next to him, as they just watch as all these souls get ferried onto this ship, all becoming part of the crew. And you're right in the middle of it right now.
And they're around the house. So like if I was to try and get off this house, it would be a problem.
They're around the house. They're going through the house.
So like everybody else is getting woken up then at
Nope,
this point.
no one else is getting woken up.
He is going to stealth to the best of his ability and remain stealthed, but he's not going to interact at all.
Okay.
And I guess keep kind of split his focus a little bit, like making sure they don't see him, but because they're right there, right? They're on the dock.
Oh, the Qatar and his guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then sort of like trying to see if he recognizes any of the souls, if they are even physically formed enough to.
Oh yeah, no, they look pristine, as if all these people were just wearing a ethereal type of makeup.
Yeah, so I guess he'll just sort of remain hidden on the roof and keep an eye out if anybody of import is one of these souls and
Okay.
like
Make
avoid being seen.
Make another perception check. Let's see if we revert back. Okay, not too bad.
Double.
No one of any familiarity to Richaw except one individual. One blue-haired female. As Rashi, Hammerhand, is roughly about the middle of the pack. Other than that, looking across everyone else's faces, no one seems familiar enough to proc any memory. This whole ordeal takes about half an hour from when you realize that you're in the middle of this shit for all the souls to find their way out into the ocean and onto the ship. Probably somewhere in the realm of 2,000 to 3,000.
Yeah, he hasn't. I wouldn't even know how to interact with a ghost, let alone if I have anything that could even do anything. So he's just gonna. They're at the end of the dock, so like, how close are they to me?
The cabin rests about 100 feet to the dock.
Are they just standing at the end, or can I see them doing like gestures, talking?
No,
to
they're
each
just more of like cowboys watching as on the side of a herd moving past them. Qatar and Zoran.
And that was the guy that was at Qatar's hut with him?
Yeah, with the metal hand.
Gotcha. Oh, I thought Qatar was the one with the metal hand.
No. Zoran the Grim is the hobgoblin with the missing hand and leg.
Yeah, he'll just stay quiet then and let it all happen.
Even though these souls move to the ship, and you do see some portions of the ship getting crowded. It's obviously way too many souls of people to fit on this ship, but it never seems to get overcrowded. They all get loaded up. An interesting, slightly remembrant person comes to meet and talk with Qatar, the individual you guys fought with underwater. Comes up to Qatar, this time about 2 feet taller and much wider. Qatar looks up to him and is talking with him. A hand gets put out and they slap it in like a forearm shake. And as it does so, this red energy moves out from this individual and moves into Qatar. And Qatar rises in size and mass about a foot. The other individual lowers, and they are now of equal height. And with that individual glides, leaving these fiery footprints across the water until he gets back on the ship, and it turns and sails off into the water. Qatar turns and says some things with Zoran. and places his hand on Zoran's shoulder. And as it happens, you see as Zoran's left hand, which has the long metallic whip in its place, almost jettisons off and into the ground as a new blackened, scorched hand takes its place. The same thing with the peg leg as it pops off as a new foot, this blackened, dark foot cuts out from its space. Zoran sort of stretches and moves it all around and like kneels down to Guitar and servitude, picks up the peg leg and picks up the whip, and they start walking back towards Guitar's place. After about 10 minutes, they're completely out of sight.
Which way did the boat take off?
It went directly westward.
So that would make it south of the cliffs then? Or
Yeah.
is it just trying to go? Would it be natural for a boat like that to be getting to deeper waters before
Yeah,
making
def-
any sort of turn?
It's
Okay.
much more of a galleon-esque type of ship. So it needs deeper waters to do anything of import. When it's in shallow waters, it's oars moving it around.
Well, shit. Is he just sort of like set out to the empty air? Like looks down at his little bead in his chest now and is like, "Do you do that?" Just like talking to himself essentially, but he's very curious, like if that sort of thing happens with like the whole transfer of size and power occurs. Obviously, if the demon side does one, then the god side probably does it too. It's like what his curiosities are now at this point. He's not like now that everything's over and it's quiet again, he's not going to wake anybody up or anything. He's going to let it play out, but very curious, that's for sure.
And in about a little under the next hour, the sun starts to rise, and you have about another half hour of watch after that to watch the sun completely come up, and you can start to feel and hear people starting to rouse in the building below. It's up to you if you want to cock-a-doodle-doo. It's all you.
I think he's gonna remain quiet, and as he hears people coming down, he's gonna like come down to the window and be like, "Hey, is everybody okay in there?"
Are we all okay in here?
Yeah. Everyone's dead. Just kidding. Nope, it's...
All right, campaign over, guys. Let's.
John goes, oh dear.
Each person that walked through the building took 1d10 psychic damage as they walked.
That'd be cool.
We all died peacefully in our sleep.
Oh, wonderful.
The tide of undead go crossing over the top of you to hell.
Yep.
My soul just goes to my father. Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're okay. Well, is everything okay out there?
Sure, yeah, we're good. He just like nods and then goes back up on the roof.
That doesn't seem... Yeah, that seems like a lie. I don't care if you get a nat 20, that seems like a lie. Or he's a paranoid little shit.
He's not intending it to be a lie.
It's fine now.
No, there could have been some things that happened, and now that everybody's fine, we're all good. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm gonna worry about it, Rachel.
It's almost like the time when you told me not to worry about what's in the box. I worry what's in the box.
It's mugs, Caparin. I can't emphasize that enough. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, how else do you think we're going to carry 13 mugs?
In your 13 pockets, Amric.
You know these pockets aren't big
That's
enough
it.
for mugs.
Those are also additional mugs. They're like little teacup mugs.
These are shot glasses.
So, good news and bad news.
Did we get a long rest before he starts?
Yes, everyone's gotten a long rest.
Good news and bad news. The good news, all of the souls made it to the afterlife that died in Kember.
Okay.
And the
Right.
bad news?
How do you know this?
Bad news is I watched them all get taken to that ship that I accidentally fixed that one time. And like he thumbs up at everybody.
So thousands of souls just got dragged to hell?
But Rachad's technically upside down, so he's doing a thumbs down.
My father said that ship wasn't repaired yet.
He said that over a month
Dash
ago.
literally said, "Oh, that was you guys."
No, but when it had happened, they reset it.
And it's also been a month since you last talked to your dad.
Has it been a month? Oh yeah, because we went into the other planes. Got it.
At minimum, yeah.
He told me
Yeah.
that right before we left.
Yeah, the reason I was worried about all you guys in there was because there were like actual ghosts screaming and walking through the walls into this building, and but I couldn't come check on you really because I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to say his name yet. Was standing at the end of the dock with his little minion guy with no arms, or one arm and one leg, and if I had moved at all, they probably would have spotted me because they're like less than 50 yards from me.
Oh,
Do we feel normal?
A little cold, but yeah.
We now have the souls of hundreds in us.
Gabora feels a little violated, but
Did Bryn inadvertently suck any of them into herself for Ellenate?
no, she has to be conscious for her thing to be working.
She's just sitting in the chair, knocked out.
You and you and you and you and you.
I wonder why you were able to hear them and see them, and why we weren't able to.
well, we were asleep.
I've also been touched by those very specific demons.
It's true.
And he's been touched by an angel.
And I stole a god.
You've done that a couple times.
There is a siphon going on in hell.
Elaborate.
Share, please.
Something's pulling souls down there, I think.
Make sure those that need to choose their spells, choose their spells.
That's what I've been doing.
So you think that they're getting pulled down? They're more often than they should, or people who shouldn't be going that way are? I don't know how it works.
Definitely sounds weird for a whole town or whole city.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know how the afterlife works. I'm really not ready to learn about that either. But
It's in your lineage.
Polly.
Yes.
So so sorry.
We don't have time for that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Death Ward on Bryn. We need to get going. We've had our rest. We need to get back. We need to do what we need to do.
Are you sure?
He'll get up and look her right in the eye. What are we gonna do? There's nothing we can do right now.
For what it's worth, it didn't seem like Otis was in there anywhere, or Balar, at least.
I'll deal with that later. We need to get going. At least we have time now.
Richos was talking in the window.
Oh yeah, he's just hanging upside down, looking at everybody from.
Pretty used to Richard's voice just coming from nowhere.
Warren just is like, come on, Nori, up from the doorway.
Where's already standing by this point?
Would the speed at which it would be walking or moving have reset now since we...
So yeah, whenever... Because I would say you probably have stood up and stretched, but you haven't moved anywhere. So once you take your first step, then it would get... So when you're sleeping, it can still move that distance. But once you wake up from a long rest...
So I wake up and I just like walk really slowly around the room.
I mean, yeah, if you want to do that, you can. It would get half of that speed. But once you take a regular step, it gets... Or whatever new mode of transportation you do, it gets half that speed. But for
But
now...
while I'm sleeping, it's still going zoom.
Yeah. So I've just had you... You stood up, you stretched, but you're still in the same spot.
She's gonna go walk over and hug Nori.
Okay.
Mori will hug her back.
Well, where exactly are we going at this point?
We're gonna go see Zorinth.
Can you check to see if Zorinth's still there?
I was about to, actually.
Thanks.
Nora, you might want to talk to your family too. Just for the sheer fact of warning them of the thing off the coast.
1 sec. Val, I would have sent a message to A team last night.
Mm-hmm. AAA?
Yeah, AAA team. I've got it written down. Hold on.
Flat tire, need pickup, I-95.
We definitely could use a pickup right now.
Within 40 miles, it's free, right?
I think we fall into that distance.
Yeah, it's fine.
So it was, I wrote it down.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
It was Tries Day.
What?
Really sorry for
It's now Quattro.
Yeah, but this was last night when it was Tries
Okay,
Day.
gotcha.
Really sorry for the silence. Plane hopping. A lot happened. Are you all okay?
Was it the fourth word or the second word that was supposed to be?
First word. So it was Tries Day. So first word has to have the second letter of the. Yeah. So Tries Day are really sorry. I made versions of this for every single day of the week.
You'd get the response back. And in the verbiage that it is, it's probably coming from Avita. Of... You've forgotten, haven't you? Plane hopping has effects. Be safe. Remember your lessons.
Will I do a history check?
Yeah.
Oh, 20. Ignore the 16.
We'll
23.
Take the first one. Yeah. The reason why I didn't proc, it was some of the earliest stuff you've learned, because it kind of tied into when she just gave you some of the overall history of the post-planar division, which that's more of just like straight history, so you weren't super interested in it. And she was talking about initially the problem of people who would traverse the planes multiples in the same day and what it would do to their magic. It's like, and this has been still continued on even after the planar division. When you go into multiple planes in a short amount of time, but now that the planes are separated and they're more engrossed in their own type of power, it's no longer in the same day, but in the same, like, roughly month. If you go into more than 2 planes, you have a very strong chance of your magic turning on you. AKA wild magic. It wouldn't be consistent, and obviously the more planes you visited and the more time you spent in each one or did certain things in each one, the more spells you used while you were in those planes would leave lingering and longer effects. It's not saying that every time you do magic it's going to be wild magic, but you do have a good chance of, at some point, your magic seeming to have a mind of its own.
Does it last forever?
No. But you definitely need a good amount of time before it's gone. Maybe, like, if you just straight up just visited and then left, one thing. If you visited and then did spell work, then that's when it basically becomes a bit of an infection.
Yeah, she did it. She did it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, what would I know about essentially I have this infection?
Well, first, that explains a lot as to why Luke is so hurt. Because Luke's infected. You guiding bolted out of him. So, Luke was already healing from something, and then you introduced this entirely foreign magic into it. So, Nori could pass that information along to Kaporin at some point.
Yeah, I think so. If it was that night, Nori would have, because Nori hasn't seen the horrors of war like some of the people, like Racha has seen, like Bryn has seen, like Polly has seen. The closest she saw to it was when she went back to her home in the mountains and was all burned up. So
You saw Soul.
her, yeah, then Solbrun, and now this, but this is like war. That was demons, but just this entire city that was. She's kind of messed up a bit. So that night she would have just kind of messaged them as a like half desperate attempt, just like I need some comfort. And then getting that back, she wouldn't have said anything to the morning. All this happens, and then Nori just kind of sits down and goes, everyone who cast a spell while we were in those planes, there's a problem. I totally forgot. This was early on, so I don't remember everything. But essentially, with how much magic we used, especially me, there's a chance of our magic turning on us. And it'll go. It's like an infection. It'll go away eventually, but we need to be careful. That's why Luke's so hurt, because the interplanar magic fucks with them. Bryn, did you ever cast any spells while we were there?
The only spell a child would have cast was his fairy fire during the performance.
Holly, you cast spells a lot.
Right, but one, yes, Bryn, you did. You cast haste a couple of times while you were practicing. Two, is it the same with divine magic?
Nori wouldn't have an idea.
because
I don't
you
know.
use a different magic than I do. The results are the same sometimes, but as far
But-
as I know, I'm not feeling any different. But we'll see.
I don't feel different either. That's the thing, you don't know. So we need to be careful and know that sometimes our magic is going to possibly turn on us. So, Perrin, Rachel, myself, it's Polly, maybe.
It's pretty much all of us. Let's just.
Yeah, we're all
Besides
magic.
Amric, Amric casts spells too.
We all did.
I'm not sure you did. I don't even know what his spells are, to be honest.
He did. He cast. I know he healed, but again, it's divine, so I don't know if it's the same thing.
Those were also in the storm, though. I don't think.
Emmerich didn't use any spells while we were in the other planes.
For the most
Okay.
part, like none of us really did spells in the other planes.
Except
It
for
was
the last
just
one.
in the Beastlands was like the only time we ever had to use spells.
Nori was casting water breathing in all the places that we had water.
Nori is infected out the butt.
And Polly was doing sending constantly.
I do believe Amric did guidance a few times. But that was about it. Because-
So the response Nori would have given to Avita would have been right. ... Well, fuck.
The response
Tell everyone I say hi, I guess.
The response you get is, "You were never one for studying."
Just looking down at the paper like, you didn't have books, you asshole.
Which makes the reason for you needing to listen to me all the more important.
I was like 14, give me a break.
The long sending.
It's text message, don't worry.
Avita was like, this needs to be a longer conversation. Hold on.
They're just anticipating each other's reactions, so they're like sending it
Yeah,
in a break.
They're putting in ... dots, knowing what your response is going to be, then ... No, she just.
Yeah, so I have that conversation, feel thoroughly just like, I fucking forgot, I'm an idiot. Damn it.
So does
I'm
that mean
happy
we're
I
not going to
took
be
that
able
history
to
thing.
like pop over to Capernaum's hometown today or ever?
No, it just means we're gonna need to be real careful.
What you remember is that the magic will always still do whatever you want it to do. You'll just have extra things happen.
Nori turns into a sheep again.
Beard of feathers, blue skin, no hair.
Blue skin for me doesn't really matter.
I mean, blue skin for me.
Oh, you think? I'll make it neon blue and glow in the dark. All your stealth checks disadvantage.
Polly, do you ever move curse?
I just I look like the underlight of a car, like a tricked out car.
Pretty much. Oh, no, you look like as if someone put one of those LED balls inside of a chia pet.
That is the most specific reference I've ever heard.
But it works perfectly.
I guess?
Rachel's still sitting outside.
So Polly will
Yeah.
cast sending to Zoran. Zorinth, I'm sorry.
It's alright.
We need a teleportation scroll. Should be around a day before we get there.
No, not a day.
You can't hear what I'm saying. It's in my head.
Fuck.
If longer, I'll let you know. will be able to pay. That's it. That's 24 words.
It's just funny because Richard, it looks like you're sticking that in your ear.
On my temple. That's pretty much all.
I know, but it just disappears in the background. So, it's not too much of a wait. Definitely waking him up. Ollie, scroll. It's gonna be a bit. You're more than welcome to be here, but I'm gonna need at least 4 days. A lot's happened. That's where he's gonna end.
So he's going to need about 4 days to get it ready. It looks like the war hit your town too, or close to it. I don't know how bad, he didn't have time to explain, but either way, we have time, and we were expecting that anyway, weren't we? So
yeah, we'll need a couple days to get there.
also, I just want to point out that if we wind walk, that thing can wind walk as well.
Yes, but it will be only going half as fast.
Okay.
And if it was close, it's also like
Really far away.
months away from us right now in terms of distance.
Okay, so Val, distance-wise, from you said from one side of Cydia to the other is about the length of the United States, so like 2,600 miles.
Yeah, but this is obviously like California to Texas. So like
So it's a 3-day drive.
like a 5-hour flight.
3-day drive with rests. So it would probably be a 4-day fly, maybe 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I would drive to California back and forth from Texas constantly as a kid. So very familiar with that route.
Yep.
Well, it sounds like we'll be. Oh, my mom.
Yeah. Can you call his mom?
Can I call his mom?
Yeah, haven't you seen him?
No, I've never met her before.
I thought we
She was
stayed
in her
at
room the entire time I was there.
Gotcha.
You can give a description?
And you get the most flowery description of his mom ever. And
Do I think it's enough?
about halfway through, Richard hands you a picture through the window.
It's like a printer.
More like a mailman shoving it through the mail slot. And
Why do you have a
Richard's-
picture of my phone?
It looks freshly drawn.
Still feels awkward, but okay. Thank you, Richard.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I will cast. Hi, Kaporin's friend. Just checking in, making sure you're all right. We should be there in about 4 days or around. If you need us to bring anything, let me know.
Wonderful to make your acquaintance. I'm fine but busy. Bring chocolate?
Kaporin, your mom is pregnant again.
What?
Yeah, she said she's craving chocolate and like some sort of weird like fried potato.
Fried potato?
I'll get to meet your brother.
Oh, yes. Nori hasn't met him yet. Oh. You get to hold him.
Okay.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with it. She didn't say that. But she's fine. She's just busy. And yeah, she actually did request chocolate. So if we stop anywhere and they have it, there you go.
There's, unless we run into a traveling town, there's going to be jack shit along the way.
You're gonna go sift through
I
some
said
rubble
just in case.
I'm gonna go sift through the rubble of town to go find some chocolate.
Go find some very melted chocolate on a dead body.
It's like, oh, he had a heart-shaped balloon, and
Yep. I would make it so bad. Yeah.
he would have chocolates on him. I gotta go search that body.
Mhm. I'd make you have to like pry it out of his dead hands. Yeah, I'd make it horrible for you.
That's for his mom. Would he really?
No, it's for his pregnant fiance. See, I can make it very bad.
Please stop. We're good. Everyone died and went to hell. The end. Okay, let's move on because there ain't shit we can do.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm going to cast Send to Otis.
Okay.
Just got to Kember. What happened? Are you okay? Is Devin okay? Do you need me? Please say you're okay.
The spell goes out and doesn't connect. Not in the way that there isn't a recipient, but in the way of something blocking.
I'm just gonna. Okay. And look at Nori. When can we leave?
You all ready?
Yep.
All right.
Are we gonna be warning anybody about this whole thing?
Who's there to warn? The entire country already knows.
Someone. in
I
the
was
Ixian military?
I was referring to your family, Nori, and the fact that they could maybe let the Ixian know.
I don't want to put anything on them. I can't put anything on them. If they know, they know. If they don't, they don't.
But if that thing sails north and attacks Ixia, and they're unprepared for it,
Yelena or Valek? Well, you can't do Valek. Yelena?
Yelena's in the same boat as Valek, I thought.
Only if she's next to him.
Yeah. Valek has a sort of anti-magic thing on him at all times.
Yeah, I knew about that. I just assumed Yelena also did.
No,
Because every time we've tried to do Yelena, it's always been
Yeah, that's
a problem.
because she's with him. If she's not with him, it's very much a Valek thing rather than a like position of power thing.
Wait, don't we know the generals? Didn't you guys like have a dinner with them?
Well, it's Polly calling.
Oh, I know the general.
You know the commander, that's for sure.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, but that's not going to get through. None of them probably are going to get through the
Oh, it
Ixian.
would get through, but he would be the last person that I don't want to bother him. I'm not even supposed to be in that freaking country.
That's why I said Yelena, because I trust him.
You also have Ganthrok.
Bill.
Not,
I guess
not
Polly,
John,
your
but
dad.
Ari.
My dad's not going to be able to do anything about this right now. He's too busy helping out with Solbrin. But yeah, I could definitely contact Ganthrok.
He's still in the League of Assassins, so he has to report to Yelena and Balik.
Yeah. Well, he could be doing whatever the fuck and we wouldn't know, but at least I can get a hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I telling him? I don't know.
Giant hell ship from city aside may come up.
Very specific. What am I telling him?
A ship from the Nine Hells is sailing the sea.
Plus 2 to 3, a couple thousand more.
And
Destroyed Kemper.
very likely was the result. Took out the war machine of Scythia, which might be a very bad thing to tell them because then they might capitalize on that. But I don't know.
I am very confused as to what just everybody said at the same time.
What do I tell them?
There's a ship that can take out war machines from the ocean.
Okay, so
I'm not understanding what the danger of this thing is.
it's a ship from hell. And
Yeah, I
it's
got
gathering
that.
souls.
And the
And
ship
it
from
destroyed
hell is probably the thing that made the giant slice through Kember and brought all those souls that they just killed onto their boat. And at least 3 of them are now much more powerful because of it.
So Kember was destroyed. Hell's influence. They're gathering souls.
Should we be worried about that?
And then just ends with shit's fucked. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm fine with not telling them too if you guys are, but it just seems like a lot of more important people are in Ixia right now, and if they decide to just say, "Hey, let's go north," they're
Well, did
right.
you see which way they went?
They went straight out west, but that's probably to get into deeper waters, like any other boat that needs deeper waters.
Okay. I will send to Ganthrock. Hey, buddy. I guess there's a devil ship traveling the coast. Took out Kember. Maybe heading north. Collecting the dead. Maybe watch for it.
Okay. There's a very brief pause until you get a response. Very loudly in your head. Polly! Buddy, I miss you. We need to go drinking. But right. Kesha, heading north. Dead people. Watch out. Ship fire. Got it.
Hope he mentions Kember's destroyed.
Kesha, yes.
Message sent.
What time is it there? Why is he drinking already?
The same time as it is here.
Who said anything about him drinking?
That's just Ganthrock. Intelligence was his dump stat.
He would join
But
in with us really well.
Didn't he get intelligence though?
He did, but it's very much a late in life intelligence grant, so it's much more like he picks things up pretty easily now, but that's not going to change his overall character.
I wonder if somebody was just like, "Here, buddy, wear this circlet for a little while and think about it."
That was from the dice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Brandon, you okay?
That's a loaded question if I ever heard one.
Yep.
Can we not stay here anymore, please?
Give me a minute. Literally. So Nori takes her a minute to cast the spell, and since she's casting it. You guys have to think less about being clouds. You just as long as you're willing, you'll turn into clouds with Nori. So once we do that, out
As
we
she's
go.
like preparing the spell, Rachal's just like, for the record, I don't like this kind of flying. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but it gets us there a hell of a lot faster than real flying.
Shut up, I'm doing my best.
I just don't recommend going into Ixia like a cloud.
Noted.
Well, we better get moving.
And poof, and we can head out.
Okay. Luckily, it is a radius thing, so you do get the birdie in the window.
Yeah, I would have made sure I got him in. I wouldn't have cast it if Rachel wasn't gonna
It would
get
have been
me.
hilarious if
I have to run after all of you guys to just full sprint.
We finally land for lunch or something, and he's like,
Yeah, Nori would make it clear, like, we are going, so anything you need to do now, do it now. 8 hours. Let's go.
"Why do you have to use the bathroom as a cloud?"
It's called mist.
Gross.
It rained.
You're going way too
Alright.
fast for it to become rain. But, so the spell casted, everyone focusing on becoming a cloud and rising up and out of the area. Bryn, you rise up and out the top of the house, and standing just outside the front door, head turning up and watching you move away from it. Something slightly different than the last time you saw it. Not the height, size, and figure of a woman, but this time tall, lanky, like a circus performer on stilts, somewhere in the 10-foot range, with the same no face, no mouth, just a mop of black hair on top, as this head just focuses and watches you go up and up and up in this cloud form. It seems when this creature is on the other side of a wall, you cannot see it in either actual eyes open or in dreams. But you rise further and further and further, and if you didn't have a want to move faster than right now, you do. As everyone starts taking off in the direction of Kaporin's hometown, and you follow. Eight hours go by. Many different versions of the landscape you guys cut across. And as the spell is starting to wear out, everyone gets sort of the same feeling that the spell's about to be over. The last half hour or so. You guys start to keep an eye out for any maybe slightly secluded place that would offer any sort of interesting protection. So give a round of party perception checks as you guys are zooming.
Perception or survival?
Perception.
Very consistent, guys. We got this.
Zenori spots it first, but shortly behind, Amric and Kaporin also notice, as you guys are going past pretty much just open plains at this point, there's rolling hills to it, but there's this certain sort of cove, a sharper hill that actually turns into almost a sheared off cliff face, but it kind of curls over almost like the hill in Nightmare Before Christmas. Kind of has that far tilt over the side of it, and just moving past it, it just looks like a grassy hill. But you guys came at just the right angle that you realize that the bottom portion is actually opened, and there's a small cave that goes inside. You guys cloud float your way down, and being safer in cloud form than anything else and able to get out of there toot sweet if needed, go in and investigate. And it looks like at one point it was the home of some sort of storage, maybe either a smuggling run or possibly just a caravan moving by and just left some stuff behind. Just some broken boxes, nothing of value in anything, just splintered wood. Racha is ecstatic as he finds a shoe. Damn it, it's a right shoe. Tosses it away.
Get that junk out of here.
The cave is fairly deep, goes into almost the entirety of the hill itself, but is completely vacant from what you guys can tell.
How big is the opening?
The opening itself is a little between 7 and 8 feet tall and about 4 feet wide.
How'd we do?
One first question. Did Bryn tell us?
It's up to Bryn. You guys were pretty much traveling, headlong in this direction for the entire time, so...
Have we been able to talk during that? Because I know it's like we're moving really fast.
Yeah, moving that fast, unless you guys slow down, so the only time she really would have had chance to say anything would have been, like, the last 30 minutes. Because you guys were just trying to make as much distance as possible, rather than, because you guys knew where you were going, so it's just more of a, boom, let's get it, rather than a, let's take the scenic route.
Would it have been basically like right next to Racha?
Yeah. I was waiting for Racha either to move into the doorway or to someone open the door. But yeah, Racha would have been like a foot away from Racha.
Yeah, still in cloud form, so I guess like with about half hour.
Okay.
When we got out of the house, it was standing next to Racha.
Standing next to a shop.
Yeah, and it looked different. Taller this time. A lot taller.
How did it get so close?
I don't know.
I thought we left it like way back down wherever.
It had hours to catch up, and it was going God knows how fast.
Okay. So it didn't go through the door. Is it like vampire rules where they can't go where they're not invited?
I just think it didn't make it to the door before we started moving again.
It was right next to Racha.
Okay.
Because we were told it would go through almost any obstacle to get to her. So I doubt a door would stop it.
I'm reading a spell real fast. You guys continue. Nori's gonna do something.
And Kaporin, make a history check.
Ooh, history.
You got the majority of it right, so it's only gonna be. Never mind. I was gonna say it's only gonna be a 13 DC, but never mind.
It's only a +1 to history checks. I got most of that right?
Most of that line right, yeah, but there were a couple key things not right.
Ooh.
Wait, what was the thing you said?
I said that I had said that this thing would go through almost anything to get to her. That's where we learned that it would even travel through planes if it had to.
Specifically, what you said was it would go through any obstacle to get to her.
Oh, obstacle.
Nor you can make a history check too. You're ultra paranoid about this.
She's like going through her notebook. Where was it? Oh!
It was told it would go around any obstacle, not through. There's a big difference.
So she's safe in a house, but she's essentially trapped in it then?
Okay, I can work with this. All right. So when we get to the cave, Nori will usher everyone in and say, I'm going to seal off the exit for right now. Okay?
Okay.
Make it so we've got like a little oxygen so we can breathe and such, but I'm sealing off the exit. Wall of stone. So I let everyone do whatever they're wanting to do. A non-magical wall of solid stone springs into existence at a point you see within range. The wall is 6 inches thick and composed of 10 by 10 foot panels that covers the exit.
Except for a small breathing hole.
Except for like a tiny little breathing hole. And just, this thing is 10 feet. So having it just like at the bottom, just like a little indent. Mm-hmm. And I might use just stone shape to make the hole. But I get...
Were we told that this creature will change shape at all?
Nope. It obviously can.
Is this a tunnel, or is this there's a blocked off end at the other end of this?
Yeah,
cave?
It looks more like the way that the hill is sort of windswept and everything, that it was probably an over time created cave, like sediment sort of slowly built on itself and then sort of naturally formed a cave around just this open space. So yeah, it is completely sealed in, except for its opening. Six people breathing inside of the cave is relatively large enough, so you do have a good amount of air to begin with. But for an entire overnight stay, 6 people all breathing air, you're going to need probably around a fist-size hole to supply enough without people just constantly passing out.
Okay, he's going to pass out this time.
Okay. So I get 10 by 10 foot panels. Why haven't I used this spell earlier? This spell is cool. And if you maintain your concentration for its entire duration, the wall becomes permanent and can't be dispelled. So essentially, Nori holds this. She gets everyone inside. We'll make. She gets a bunch of panels, but I think she's only going to do 2. Let's see, 10 by 10 foot. That covers the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I think she'd do 2 on top of each other. Let's see, 6 inches thick. Oh, yeah. And then it has 30 hit points per inch of thickness. And because there's 2, that is 360 hit points. And Nori will create that. There'll be a couple, like in a hamster box, so there's a couple little holes. So that we could have air. And she'll try to shape it in a way, because I can shape it any way I want, where it won't look completely natural, but so it doesn't look like there's a completely flat wall.
What are these 2 concrete slabs doing along the side of this rounded hill? Yeah.
Just like, what the fuck is this? So try to make it as natural as possible.
Okay, easy enough to do. She's over giving it like rough texture and everything on the backside.
Just like an artist's hand. In order to make sure everyone's
that
inside.
No one can see.
Okay. Now we have a wall and a bunch of little holes. so that when it's time to do Windwalk, we can go through those holes.
I'm just worried that the creature might transform again, and maybe could get through those.
Well, if there were holes enough for Racha to speak, I'd make it so it'd be like that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like mimic the way the house was doing it.
Yeah.
Are we establishing that I'm outside then, I guess?
Nope, you're inside. Sorry, buddy.
She's all like, okay, let him go investigate deeper. You there, Richard? Yeah.
No, all this like trying to make it inconspicuous as possible, and then Bird sitting on top of the hill.
Just grab. It's like, nope, you're inside for right now. But
there is a high point inside the cave shop.
He's just dangling on a stalactite and hoping that there's a stalagmite above him.
He just finds 2 stalactites and makes like a hammock between the 2.
And then after she's done that, Nori goes over to Bryn and just pulls her into a hug.
She would have been writing in her notebook, but she would have let you.
All right. You guys are now sealed in and have some time to kill. Oops. Phone's about to die. So if there's anything you'd like to do before sleepage?
All right. Well, we're in here for the next couple hours. This sucks.
Gaborn's just gonna explore the cave. Like,
It's not that large. We're talking like enough for you guys all to lay down in different areas down on the floor.
oh,
With like another 6 feet worth of walking.
oh wow, that's really small.
I mean, it's just inside of a hill. It's not like inside of a mountain or anything. So, and for it to have solid enough walls to have created this area, which means they need to be decently thick. So you don't have a whole lot of area in here.
He's just gonna go up to a wall then and just take a rock and start caveman style painting on the rock, on the wall. It's like, I'm gonna leave my mark.
All right. Easy enough to do.
Paul is going to go to the opposite wall away from all that horrible scratching noise. And sit down and pull out the stuffed Bill that Caperin made him and cast Sending to Bill and just like do like comforting, like, I wish you were here to snuggle with me thoughts.
You get missing you vibes. Sort of the taste of ale. And just warm feelings in general.
That's what I needed.
Cha would be meditating with this like new connection towards Trentmere and stuff, and is just like, are we capable of doing anything about this? Or like, do you have ideas? Because I'm kind of useless here.
Roll a D100. No response.
Bryn would be zoning out, writing in her notebook, kind of thing. She'd send off a message to Illinade, but not expecting anything in return, just more of a, well, fuck.
Nori just quietly, do you want me here?
You can stay, it's fine. It's not much other places you can go.
I'm asking what you want.
I couldn't hear you.
I'm asking what you want.
I would like you to stay here, yes.
Bryn, make a perception check. You're sort of up against some stalagmites that have been formed. One of the ones that sort of creates one of the bracing pillars of this entire cave. And talking to Nori right next to you, but you kind of look up and over her head and you see something, a slight bit of movement on what would be considered like a little boulder off to the side, and you kind of like focus in on it like a laser beam for a moment, and with its hand over its mouth, you see this little otter standing there and giving you the
God damn it. Alright, she'll get up and go over there. Just, hang on, Nori.
Nora's like, do you want me here? And you're like, I want you here, but I'm leaving.
Stay right here. I have to move.
That's 100% how Nori took it, and so she's just kind of sitting there like,
Oh shit.
Like
What did I
pitch
do?
black, or did we actually like put a light on in here?
I'm sure Amric would have at least cast light. Until either you guys get a small fire going or whatever.
well, fire would eat a lot of oxygen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you can add some more holes if you needed to. If you had magical fire, it wouldn't really consume oxygen, so you could do that. Whatever anyone's got, if not, it's a cantrip, so he'll keep burning it for as long as he needs to. Just the more he burns it,
Until he turns into a sheep.
more chance that some wild shit might start happening. So, but Bryn, you abandon Nori and walk over to this rock. And the angle that he's at, no one could really see him except for Nori if she had turned her head around. And you kind of walk over, and everyone, it kind of just looks like Bryn walks over to the side and just kind of like crosses her arms and just is taking a moment to herself. This little otter covered in dirt just kind of looks up at you. The same sort of glowing eyes from the last time you saw, or last time it spawned from you. Hey. You guys have been hard to track.
Yeah, we've had a lot of shit happen.
Yeah, it's been shitty kind of everywhere right now.
I believe that.
I'm just glad I had my Bryn radio on when you spoke. You're alive? Gives two little tiny otter
For
thumbs
now?
up. Yeah, I sort of downloaded what you've been through in the last day. Are you guys at least trying to find Trilithia?
We were. And then Holly got told that that thing was, I guess, on top of us. So we teleported to Kember, and it was there once again. So 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
I've been trying to track it. Well, it's untrackable, but it leaves behind sort of a void of presence, which that can be tracked. And it seems when you guys... It feels like recently you've been here. It was in a different plane, and you know how time between planes can go. So... it had more than enough time to catch back up to you. But it's here now. So... it'll be restricted. As long as you guys stay on this plane, it'll be restricted in what it can and can't do. I've done a little bit of research, and though busy with other things, I was able to create a little something something. And he kind of like weirdly puts his hands like in his fur and is like feeling around and like he's digging in his pockets, and he's like, hold on.
I don't want to know where you're keeping that.
It's here somewhere. You hear like a couple metal things like rattle against each other from somewhere. But it kind of sounds like Jingle Bells because he's so tiny. And then there it is. And he kind of like pulls out what looks like a bean. It's large in his hands, bean size. And holds it up to you, and you kind of just... a little reddish hue to it. He's like, that will give someone an extra 7th level spell slot. I'll give you the power of the god for a moment, but 7th level spell slot. So, should allow you guys to do your fart cloud for an extra 8 hours of a day. Get you wherever you need to go faster, and hopefully... I mean, if you need to use it for other things, then you understand your own urgency, but I thought it might be able to help put some needed distance. Because it can only move half as fast as you guys. So if you can travel that fast for twice as long, you'd get that much more distance away from it. But I trust in whatever you guys decide to use it for.
So is it for forever or just the one time?
Just the one time thing.
Okay.
Rachel, eat this pill.
It doesn't give a 7th level spell, it just gives a slot. It's not a lot, I know, but unfortunately with this specific creature, I can't do too much.
No, I know. Thank you.
But just know that whatever other god is involved in this, they can't do too much either. So whether it had boonful or negative thoughts, feelings, or want to do actions towards you for all this, it can't. I'm still trying to figure out who that was. I have a hunch. But I don't want to speak anything into existence until I'm sure.
How confident are you about Trilithia?
She's one of the only gods around here that still know I'm alive. She would be the only one that I would trust to come up with a solution that's as beneficial as possible.
Wouldn't kill a god.
I wouldn't put it completely past her, but I think her avatar would have something to say about that. She is my wife.
I am sure Cassian will be so happy to hear that.
Big smile creeps across this otter face. Hold on.
Oh no, what did I just do?
Who? Little pip squeak in the otter voice. Pips up. Can you say that name again?
Nope.
And you feel sort of this interesting warmth reach across your mind as a lot more memories start to get downloaded. And you start to see flashes moving back.
Does it slow down at the trauma center? At the trauma conversation?
It kind of like hovers every now and again when you're like talking or seeing or being with Castian. And then like when you go to a new place or you meet a new person. So like it slows down with the Krilla fights. And then it like picks back up and slows down to the Panther picks back up. And then it kind of goes back through some of the more interesting interactions. And then it slows heavily down during that conversation. And it's like molasses when it gets to that memory. And it's just getting soaked in. And it ends. The warmth gets released from your brain, and this otter smile is from ear to ear. Little teeth poking through. And
Oh, I just gave you some bad information, didn't I? You're gonna use that against him or someone, aren't you? Please don't make him hate me anymore. I'm pretty sure he hates me because I told him all that.
I'll wait till your guys' truce is over.
Oh no. What are you gonna do?
I don't want to spoil the fun.
Oh, please do. I might not be here to see it.
Oh no, you would be. Even if this all goes south for you, I would still make sure you were there for this.
Oh, great.
His smile, and he kind of like turns in, and that sort of like otters can get every now and then as their little hands start to like run over their own little hands and they kind of curl in on themselves.
Oh god, I just created a monster with that information.
He's like, it's just always nice to know that there's something to look forward to at the end of the day.
That was fair trade for the little gem thing. Just completely fair trade for me. It's like, I'm just getting this out of the good of my heart. No, you just paid me back in full. Hell yeah.
So he gets like that.
Wait, back to the bean. Does this person eat it?
Yes. It's a one-time ingestion. It's like good berry on crack. He gets like that for a moment and then comes back to it, and just the smile sort of rescinds. Still there, much more of a smirk now, the Illinade smirk. Then he goes and looks sort of past you. You've got a good crew. As shitty as this is, if this was on anyone else, I wouldn't give them a chance in the 9 hells.
I just hate that I'm putting them through this.
Well, I don't think any one of them would choose not to be there with you. Maybe Kapoor. but he would be about 300 feet away shooting at whatever's coming. So still technically there.
But, gotta give him like that 10 feet, so maybe 290 feet in case something shifts.
True. But kind of gestures towards Nori. Go. Spend every moment that you know you have with her. No reason to make him shitty.
I'm pretty sure she, like, looking over, she, like, having an existential
Nori's
crisis
just
because
like,
she just, like...
No, Nori. No. That's not what's happening. Nori is curled up into a ball as a cat.
She looks like she might need it.
I think I gave her a complex because
Does
I
she
said,
know
yeah,
she has a
I
bunch of
want
gray
one.
hairs? I'm not gonna
tell her. I'm pretty sure I gave her a complex because she's like, do you want me to be right here? And then I was like, yes, I do. And then I saw you and went over here, so.
Oh yeah, bad timing.
Yeah,
Charles
like,
Charles like over at Nori, like petting her.
Doing like pigeon cooing noises to like comfort her.
Yeah, ear scritches.
Nori appreciates the ear scritches.
So, Elanade sort of just gives you a bow and waits for you to go.
Thank you. Yeah, she'll go back over to Cat Nori.
Mm-hmm.
Pick her up and
Rachago skittering off.
pick her up and just, I guess, lay her in my lap and do the same thing Rachel was doing, but with minus the bird noises. Just saying, I'm sorry. Someone decided to make a visit.
Just tilts her head up at you.
Not the bad one. But I have a little present for you if you want to be Nori again.
During this time, curled up and holding a certain plush, sort of kind of just like starting to get into the mode of possibly sleeping, just eyes closed, just like trying to deal with everything. You go and squeeze the plush once again, and it's a little furrier than the last time you squeezed it. Little tight.
Why are you talking to me?
It's me, dude.
Who's you?
Elanade.
Dude, it's really weird talking to you.
Can you not squeeze my throat?
Yeah, I can do that.
I thought it was gonna be cute and all, like taking the place of the plushie. I wasn't expecting a chokehold.
Hey, it's been a rough day.
Yeah. Yes, it has. Just so you know, Otis and Devin are in Ixian.
Why?
When I found out what happened to Kemper, I went down there and grabbed him.
Thank you. Are they okay?
Yeah, they are currently staying with Earthamarsh and Solbrun and Bill.
That absolutely makes so much more sense now. He really was drunk.
Oh, Bill. Yeah, no, he's shit-faced.
No, Bill's always drunk. I met Ganthrock when I talked to him earlier this morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ganthrock is doing a certain job right now.
Okay.
But
Does that mean that he's not going to be able to get that message that I sent him to whoever needs to know?
No, he checks in daily, so whatever message you send should be fine. Last I saw Otis, He was curled up with Bill. Giving Devin the night off is what Devin said.
Okay.
And Otis just kept singing at me, so.
Yeah, he does that now. I know you're not the person I'm supposed to be asking about this, but you wouldn't happen to know any way to fix that, would you?
I had a brief look into his mind. And the problem is, there are pieces of it missing. Physical pieces of it missing. And
Shit.
my only thoughts on it from the reports that we had gotten on his detachment and what happened to them, and the reports of the people doing the investigation afterwards to try and pinpoint what went down. The best we've come up with is that they came up with a word for it, spliced between two alternate dimensions, which I'm sure you have dealt with. And he couldn't exist in one or the other for so long until his portion of existence in the other was no longer viable. And so he got spit out here. So unfortunately, those pieces of his brain exist somewhere else. So regeneration, to a degree, doesn't work. Because though they are missing, they aren't destroyed or dead or whatever. Whatever magic he stepped into, that whole detachment stepped into, it's strong. And until we can figure out how to cut that portion of magic that still has this interweaving tangle upon him, I'm not sure exactly how to fix it. If we can do that, then his body would register those missing pieces as completely gone pieces, dead. And we can do some sort of regeneration. But until then, his body still feels like it exists. And it's there, but it's not.
You said that they were in different dimensions, correct?
That's what we got from the questionings and some of the tests we done.
And dimensions are different than planes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have an idea for that, but I'm not going to like it. I would send you to talk to Violet, actually, because she's the only one I know that's congenial about the whole thing. But you remember a while ago I got real mad at you for doing something and you didn't remember that you had done it?
Yes.
Well, it turns out that I guess through Vinny, Trentimir, through our dreams, sent us back to my original dimension. And if he can do that with just the piece that Vinny had, you may be able to talk to him into doing it with the piece that Violet has, and it's way bigger than Vinny's piece ever was. And then you can hop dimensions. But I would say kind of be careful, because you said that his Trentimir's brother got brought back here kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be an option. You would just have to pinpoint which dimension those pieces are in. And I hear that Trentimir isn't the most accommodating.
Unfortunately, the problem doesn't lie with Violet. It lies with Trentmere himself.
Well, that's what I mean, but Violet has a larger piece than
True.
most.
Another problem is this war has fully fledged itself, and most of the top brass are currently involved in many different front lines. So, unfortunately, I don't think this is a problem that's going to get resolved anytime soon on our ends until we have a chance. I can definitely talk with her and throw together ideas, but implementation needs peace.
Well, it was an idea, at least.
This war extends beyond the borders of Ixian Citia.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Ice Queen, too, if you knew anything about that.
No, this goes beyond the borders of the material plane. The gods have started moving in on this war. There's a new player.
Why?
There's a new player in town. Stronger than me, not quite yet a god. And the way that they're moving and the way that they're shifting into this war, other gods are starting to vie for the thinner parts of the veils that split the planes to push influence back into the material. A lot of players moving right now. And as much as I'd like to help, I have to keep my head lowered in this time.
Yeah, I get that. As much as we'd like to help too, we gotta take care of this Bryn thing before we take care of anything else.
So far as Ixia goes, we're holding on all fronts. Even able to strike out strategically when we can, but it's very much an all-sides war at the moment, and a few battles have already happened between some of the planar gods. None.
Is that what happened to Kember?
None mortally wounded, but some definitely hurt. No, Kember was one of Ixian's strategic attacks.
Okay. Well, that sucks. I told Ganthrop, but you might need to know too. There's like this weird demon ship floating up and down the coast collecting souls. Some of those could have been yours. Just putting it out there. He said that it sailed west, but we don't know beyond that where it was headed.
All right.
Just putting it out there.
No, I'll definitely pass this along, especially to our fleet. Keep an eye out. But the demons are... The whole factions of the Nine Hells are already supplanted heavily into different portions of the material plane already. Their gods are very enticed, and now, finding out recently that Castian is free explains how Asmodeus is now back into the picture. But it's hard all around.
Yeah, I pretty much figured as much. I don't think this is going to go away soon.
I've given something to help. Hopefully, it's enough to at least create some distance. I just wanted to reach out to you, say hi.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's nice to actually have a conversation instead of a yes and no.
Brulison was injured in the last battle.
Oh, I'm not. I am complaining about it. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot easier just to talk to somebody than to beg for answers. But I mean, he's a pretty decent guy. I can't complain about that.
He's one of the few gods that knows I'm still alive as well. And I check in on you every now and then. Sort of
I appreciate that.
the X that won't go away.
Yeah, well, unrequited love. We've all had one.
What can I say? I'm into short guys. But, and he kind of like hops out onto the ground, futilely pats some of the dirt off of his fur. Kind of looks over at the rest of the group who's in the rest of the cave. Kaporin scratching across the wall. Bryn speaking with Nori. Racha just like finishing the last bits of his hammock and like having to test it, and then like one of the knots slipping, and then he stops, catches it, looks around, makes sure no one noticed, and then reties it. Amrek just sitting over there with the knuckles on, just sort of meditating. I got my money on you guys.
I appreciate the support. And do me a favor. Say hi to my sister for me. Tell her I miss her.
He's turning to leave when you say that, and he kind of just leans over and goes, clap. And you see this sort of like dust move out from in front of him as he continues walking away, and this light blue shimmer comes across. And this Laverne is standing there, hip cocked, arms crossed, head slightly to the side. Why don't you tell me yourself?
I miss you. Yeah. Mom's doing her best to get you back. You know it's not going to work.
And just grabs you, bear hug style. And you feel it, too. And you do get lifted, not as much as she normally would have. And it all has this sort of like electric feel, just slight, like static running wherever she touches you. She goes and puts you down and sort of cheek checks you. And then forehead to forehead. I know. And there's nothing I can do to stop that one, but you know, Mom, you gotta let her try, or else that's gonna eat at her too.
I know.
She's got people around her that care.
Good.
So they won't let her go too far.
We'll see about that.
Just have faith, little bro.
That's all I've got left.
She kind of like thumbs over to the otter who's currently walking and now starting to walk into the middle of the entire chamber in front of everybody. She goes, sometimes that's all you need. Love you. And she turns to start walking after. She basically disintegrates in blue dust as this otter starts to now loudly slapping his feet as he's walking through, and everyone kind of focuses in on this. And then you just hear, toodaloo, motherfuckers! And then just...
What was that?
Is that Illiday?
Yeah, I told you.
Racha just like looks around like, literally nobody noticed him. I was like,
I was watching the whole thing happen.
I was a
I was
little
actively
preoccupied.
avoiding-
Get off my back.
I was trying to be polite, but like it was definitely there the whole time.
Well, Polly was at the back of it. The only person who would have eyes on it would be you, because you're up top.
Like
It's like-
glowing blue person. Like he definitely saw Laverne. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
I was making beautiful artwork. I didn't see them.
Is it beautiful, though?
Performance check with disadvantage. Sorry, you haven't used the medium of rock on rock too much.
I've sparked some flint before, maybe.
I rolled a 19 and a nat 20.
The DC was 27.
It's a plus 10.
Yep. But it's recognizable at least. It's still rock on rock cave drawing, so it's not like the Mona Lisa got put down here, but whatever scene he was trying to create it definitely shows through, and there's even some highlights of decent artistry in there.
I left my mark.
Except for this like one line, like it was the last thing he was doing when he heard Toodaloo motherfuckers, and it kind of just he kind of but luckily that was at the very end when you were just signing your name at the bottom. So it's
So they're really
it's all
Wonderful. No dark, spooky things, right?
Are we doing watches?
Well, Elinade gave me something. Gave me this little bean. She'll explain it, and so we can keep flying and go a little farther. Create more space.
That's good. That's really, really good, because here, or at least okay-ish, and it's blocked off. I can't do this every time. I mean, I technically could, but there'd be a weird block of rock in the middle of a thing, kind of noticeable. But yeah, on a day where it's just endless plains, that will be excellent.
I mean, technically, so it's been said that it can move half as fast as whatever we move. So, I mean, if we go 8 hours, it's gonna take it 16 hours to get here. So, we have almost more than half a day until this thing gets back to us just now. At this point,
So,
If anything, we should rest now.
Yeah, we've already created this, but
Lovely home.
it's a thing to keep in mind for tomorrow, and if we feel we need to do it right now.
no, I think for right now we rest, and then because we're in a good little spot. Unless you see something, then I'm all for just booking it. Just, we're on the same page here, okay?
sorry, I heard my dog doing that reverse sneezing thing. So you guys
Do we
decided
see anything out of the little holes, or does Bryn see anything out of the little holes specifically? The thing.
They're a foot long. So, I mean, all you're seeing is light. It's not.
Okay.
It's way too small and too far for you to.
I kind of figured, just
Visualize.
check in.
we're at like what 3 in the afternoon right now.
Yeah, you guys woke up. Because you guys technically left in roughly the middle of the night to Kemper, and then traveled 8 hours as soon as you woke up. So, I would say you're closer to like. Yeah, about 4. A little after 4.
Yeah, it's sort of like get some sleep, and then we just traveled like what? What's
Miles.
yeah, we traveled miles. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And that thing traveled half the miles.
A trip thing is traveling half the miles.
Yes, basically he gave you this bean so that way you can move for 16 hours rather than 8, because technically only traveling 8 hours, by the time you get your long rest and start your next day, it could catch up, because it has twice the amount of time to move at half the speed. So basically it evens out. This way you move for 16 hours, and then it basically will always be a step behind.
Yeah.
And
So take advantage of our little cave, and then tomorrow we fucking zoom for 16 hours.
Yeah, because you can't long rest twice in the same day.
Yeah, so we're just hanging out in the cave for a little while.
Yep. And that's where one thing, it might have been beneficial for Bella to have come, since she does have sleep. You guys could basically have knocked Bryn down to enough health, and she could have immediately put Bryn to sleep.
So it could stop moving?
Yeah, because once she wakes back up and she moves around a little bit, it resets its speed.
Oh, I can make her go to sleep.
You just want to stab me again? I see how it
Go
is.
to sleep. Everyone grab your sword. Ready?
Bella just makes it a little bit easier, is all. But yeah, that's why, Bryn, at first I was like, I have you not moving yet, just standing up and stretching. You haven't taken a step yet. Because then someone could have opened the door and the thing would not have been able to move because you're just standing there. You haven't moved yet that day.
Gotcha. So, okay, I see.
Once you move, then it gains speed.
Gotcha.
But the moment you wake up,
Well,
it freezes.
so I guess that's what I got confused on, because I figured, so while I'm asleep, it can go yesterday's speed, and then as soon as I
Unless
open
you're
my
looking at
eyes, it pauses. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So as soon as I wake up, it pauses because it's like, oh, she reset. I have to reset.
Basically.
Gotcha.
Because the first time you woke up to it, or the first time you saw it and woke up to it, you moved almost immediately. Like, you got up and you took a couple steps back. And then the second time you were running and you woke up falling. That's still technically movement.
Riding on stuff still counts, unfortunately.
Yep. Any bit of actual movement. It doesn't have to be self-propelled.
Does that count for teleportation, though?
You guys haven't had anyone being able to answer that, or have been able to witness it. So it's one of, like, sort of the permanent mysteries of whether or not it's going to be viable. But according to the rules so far of it, if it is, maybe it can only teleport half the distance that you teleport. Which would explain why things have gotten so fast.
Well, and she would, because, I mean, Elena just said it was on a different plane, it seems like, so.
Yep.
And she'll explain that too, and how that's probably why it was able to catch up a little quicker.
It was definitely going to rip into you guys while you were sleeping at Ladash's place. And as it ripped in, before it could rip in, you guys dipped, and so it used plane travel on a different plane, which gave it more time to get to you for the morning.
My paranoia paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if we stayed there any longer complaining about who's going to stay behind.
I thought I was like, I gave you 5 minutes.
So, chilling in the cave. Any conversations, planning, strategy, food, whatever you want to do, now's the time to do it, or else we just go on to the morning.
So,
Bryn would be mostly in her notebook for a little bit, going into conversations like half-heartedly, just like because she's like focused on that. But I mean, are we just going back to Kaporan's hometown?
That's where we've got the teleport. And it's a couple days, and tomorrow we'll be able to move truly so fast for a long time, and they'll give us some good distance. That was a good gift.
Bryn, make a perception check.
With the last day, or like the last little bit, I guess because we're gonna end up moving a hell of a distance tomorrow.
Mhm.
Do we want to slow down after that? Because we're gonna have to spend it. If we get there too early, he's not gonna have the teleport scroll for us.
Well, he may not have the scroll ready, but he could certainly do the spell if we just want the one-way travel.
Correct, but I'm saying if we stay slower at that point so that we arrive later and he does have the scroll already ready, the thing won't get closer to us as fast. The distance will remain even further if we do like the last day slow.
Okay, that's actually a good plan. So tomorrow tomorrow will be a long day, 16 hours of just straight, we're zooming. And then after that, if we're within a day wind walk, then we'll travel half a day wind walk and then walk.
We could just walk.
Well, if we travel at all wind walk, we might as well just completely do wind walk because it's going to maintain that speed.
Yeah, I think what Rachaw's trying to say is if we make Bryn go to sleep as soon as we're done wind walking tomorrow and just do regular travel the next day, it sort of permanently sets him behind us that distance as long as we keep moving the same speed after that.
Yeah, plus some because it's only moving half as fast as we are.
Exactly.
So it gives us a buffer.
If we start riding horses, now the thing's only moving 30 feet a day, or 30 feet an hour, where it's already 32 hours behind us. Kind of thing is the idea.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Well, technically, if you guys move 16 hours worth of wind walking the next day, you guys will actually be in Kaporan's town. Because it was going to be 3 days worth of wind walking travel, but now you're shooting 2 days into one. So you guys will be making it to the town. So if you basically put Bryn to sleep as soon as you guys get into town, and then when she wakes up, she just takes a step. It's now, 8 hours behind, but in walking speed.
Take one step and then I sit for.
Well, as soon as you take one step, it's still gonna.
We just strap her to the table for the whole day and it can't move at all.
Walk real slow.
I mean, you could technically wake up and not move. And if you just...
I'm sick.
If you stay in bed all day,
breakfast in bed,
everyone else can run around, do and prep whatever you need.
Since it moves half of her speed, does that mean it's starting to move backwards?
No. There is no negative. Sorry.
Wait, what if she rolls in bed? Does it then mean it can roll?
Yep.
So we gotta strap her down.
Slowly.
Oh yeah, Racha will hog tie her.
It'll move that speed, yeah.
Racha can hog tie her to the bed.
She cannot move at all when she's asleep.
So can Nori.
Nori, you could be there if you. It's fine.
We'll ask
Nori's
for the
like,
very.
no, if anyone's gonna do this, it's gonna be me. Get the fuck out.
We'll just ask Mom for the very special.
Racha just slides it under the door.
Just soccer kick it out.
Racha, did you tell anybody about Trentamir? Like what happened and like the gem getting bigger? Or it's just, is it noticeable?
Ladash said that the gem was bigger.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was established essentially that we all assume it was Trentamir, although Racha was sort of vague about it.
Yeah, he just said, what, swirly stuff came out and then he was gone?
Yeah, it was like some sort of shadow, and then Ladash asked if there was like, if it seemed like it was a bunch of stars and stuff, and I was like, yeah, you could call it infinity.
Okay, I was just curious.
But with Rachaw's skin and feathers and everything, you can't see the gem unless he pushes the feathers away.
It's like it's right underneath the BDSM strap.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Actually, that little circlet that's right in the middle, it's right in the middle of that too.
That ring,
Yeah.
like it's like a Y shape and the ring in the center. Gotcha. And Tamir knows where to be.
Perfect accenting, yeah.
It's got style.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just-
my glowing third nipple.
There you go. Doesn't really glow, but it catches the light.
Adding that to my quotes.
Alright. So, plans set for tomorrow.
Nori was gonna say something, but yeah, we can keep going.
Okay. Rachaw's sneak attacks will be ready once you guys are done poofing around. Unfortunately, she needs sleep and not just going straight unconscious. So that's why I said Bella would be beneficial for that, because she could just start the process for you. Let Rachaw stab you a few times, then start the process. Because we know Bryn's not going to be able to perceive where Rachaw's at whenever he stealth hides.
I can try and get some drugs.
That you could.
He doesn't even really need the stealth. He just needs to go out of her eyesight because she can be like,
Oh, he's gone.
that's fine. I'm not worried about him.
Arrow to the back of the head.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright. But anything before sleep is had?
Nori would start to explain some of the Trentimere stuff to Rachaw. But she'd ask, do you want to know more about the gem and all that? Or how much do you know?
Well, I mean, I pretty much knew everything you knew as far as I remember. What happened?
I completely forgot Bryn's perception check from earlier. I have to tell her something. Just never mind. Continue.
Gotcha. And like I was there in those conversations with Kazariak and stuff, so it's like I'm understanding. Like I dodged that rock that JJ threw at us. Those sorts of things. Like so I guess I never sort of gave up on it. And that's probably why he hung around or clinged on.
You are a better person than I will ever be.
That is a complete lie, but okay.
I don't know how you do it. And honestly, I think you're the perfect person to hold a piece. That's putting too much pressure on you. I'm so sorry.
I mean, no, I guess. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm like a very improvisational guy where I'm reactive. If something's happening around me, I will do what I can. But other than that, like sure. Let's see what happens.
That is why you're the perfect person for this.
I'm not gonna lie. So, I'm not sure I completely explained it, but the demons last night, the big one that murdered Saren was even bigger, and then he shook. Still not entirely. I don't want to say his name.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, him shook his hand. They evened out to the same size, so he got bigger, and then he shook the no one-armed and one-legged guy, and the one-armed and one-legged guy sprouted a new arm and leg. I was this close to trying to sneak down and steal that dude's whip.
I'm surprised you go for the left peg leg.
Or yeah, if it was his left leg, I probably would have gone for the peg leg and like
the ultimate shoe.
This is where that becomes the handle of whatever I'm making with Mithranim's bone marrow. It's like it's a god and a demon stuck together. Let's see what happens. Yeah. But
I'm so glad you didn't.
I wouldn't have, like, you guys would have never known, because I would have just disappeared. Probably gotten a message from Polly the next morning after I was running for all night. But hey, we'll see. But then I thought against it because it was one of those like, yeah, I'm probably not getting away from that.
I'm so happy you can talk. You always could talk, but like, make your own sentences.
I was getting better at the end there. That's for sure. It was a lot of mental gymnastics to try and get to where I wanted to be with that. But this is better. This is easier for sure.
Now you guys can understand some of the insanity that goes through his head on why he's doing things.
Sorry, I was never quite as skilled as Amric was with understanding you.
We all got there eventually, but yeah, it got annoying there, definitely.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm talking too much all the time, and I kind of feel bad because like nobody else really talks as much as I talk.
No, don't feel bad about it at all.
It's one of those things too where it's like I just want to tell everybody everything, but I also know that's very dangerous to do. So I avoid things. Yeah, there's a lot going on for sure.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, I have wanted to ask this of you. What do you think of the whole druid thing? Because you said you just kind of do whatever happens.
You mean my druid thing or your druid thing?
Yours.
I mean, I use it to whatever I can, for sure. And I mean, I've got that phone call I can make to maybe get in more with that, which I'm considering.
Phone call?
What is this thing of phone that you speak of?
Am I allowed to talk about this, or is it like sealed away with that Valak stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's Valak doing the sealing. Yeah.
Is it Valak doing the sealing, or was it Tiva? Because I don't even know exactly what
Valak.
stopped me from saying it. Yeah. Because it was
Valak has to keep like things that he's directly involved with very under wraps sometimes, especially something like that. So it's very much unfortunately, from Valak's perspective, needs to be kept under wraps.
I can contact a person just once, when I'm ready to move forward in Druidism, and they'll bring me to whoever can help me with where I want to go with it, essentially.
You think you will?
Yeah, probably eventually. I heard about like this thing that like it all seems to coincide with itself. So what happened when I rolled that die and all of a sudden I could be monk? I like glimpsed the possibility of things. It was really like trippy. It was just a flash, but like I saw a version of myself where I was like, you know how my wings come out when they could come out? I'm still working on that again. There was a full version of myself, and I was like, I want to be that. And it was very sparkly. I think the druid ties into that.
What's the sparkling about? Stars. They're stars druids.
Something along those lines. That sounds right.
Never met one. I hear they've got like future telly powers. Not powers. They just see things a bit more clearly.
Could be useful. I'm just, I didn't know that was what they did. I just thought it looked really cool.
It does look very cool.
During this time, Bryn, as you're sort of half in conversations and half in your journal, you notice there's something in the journal, like a folded piece of paper shoved into the journal that isn't cohesive with any of the texture or color of the rest of the pages in here.
All right, we're gonna look into that one.
You pull it out and it's actually an envelope. And blank on the front end, and just a wax seal, a very thin wax seal on the back end. And the imprint of the seal itself is that of a top hat.
Okay.
Very extravagant top hat.
There's our man.
We're gonna open that bad boy up.
Sort of slide it out.
Gotta be very careful not to disturb the wax seal. Gotta keep that.
Yep. Take a little blade and sort of cut underneath it very, very softly. It's a very thin seal. And it says, fuck-ups are formally introduced to a challenge. Pawn the Magnificent has a keep to give. If they find themselves worthy, they know where to go. Make sure you are ready. And a little symbol resides at the bottom of the paper. And it's geometric and super wizardy looking. But it's a circle. You've seen some of these type of circles before.
Same circle?
She doesn't know. It's just a bunch of fucking squiggly lines and shit inside of a circle.
How long has this been in here? Jesus.
Since you guys have gotten into this timeline.
Wonderful.
This is just the one time where you pulled out the journal and I rolled for it and got the required number. Because it's so thin and it's so perfectly placed that only when you would have scrolled over that page specifically would you have seen it.
You gonna tell us?
Yeah, she's just gonna like stare at it for a moment and go, motherfucker left me on red in the goddamn book, but put this here.
What?
No. Because my other journal was the magic journal Anywho. Guys, I found something in my journal. And she'll like pass the note over to Nori.
Beautiful filigree, very fancy writing, slight goblin scratches.
Pawn. Oh no. Go Perrin, is this the circle? And she spins the note around to show the teleportation circle.
It is the teleportation circle of the keep.
I knew it. Oh no, Nori didn't. I just want to say when you were describing like the little creature footprints throughout the thing that like it got injured, I'm like, this feels like Pawn. Just that was my vibe, and I'm proud of that. I'll continue on. But Nori will just like, he's offering our keep. Apparently it's a challenge.
Well, I
It's kind of like letting everyone look at it.
I guess it's been in good hands. Claws? Good claws.
Polly, Pawn is a goblin we met long time ago. Very eccentric, wears a large hat. I quite like him.
Very much a douchebag.
Very much so. And he has teleport circles all over Ixian City.
I might be just a little soft on goblins.
No, fuck that guy. Like, I can say it now. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he kind of sounds annoying.
He went through his bag of holding. Fuck that guy.
I would love it that the letter turned into like a howler or something, and just starts screaming at the mention of disgracing his name.
And at this point, he probably has my dice. No, this isn't cool.
Is this the same keep that you guys used to own?
Yeah, the one that we were in before all shit went loose.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
So now you're fighting for the keep that was already yours. This sounds exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that sounds like a task for later.
It's definitely a very later thing. No way to respond to him.
Kuporn, give me either insight or arcana.
Oh, I think I have. Proficiency in Arcana.
You notice something off about the circle. It is not the receiving end of the circle.
Oh.
It's the sending end.
This may get us there.
Then put it away until we're ready to go.
I think you'd have to either touch the circle or maybe pump some magic into it, but it definitely is a one-way trip, probably.
Yeah, and right now, as delightful as this sounds, Nori looks at Bryn. We have more important things.
It might just be horrible if someone just accidentally put their finger on top of that one.
Also get a.
That's why I told you to put it away.
That's true. It would get us a lot farther away. But would he have stuff?
I mean, he'd have more teleportation circles to send us to if he was willing to.
He might.
He's probably stronger now too, but I wouldn't be surprised if he could just teleport us back to Farron and Nymph.
Can't even talk to him anymore by the book.
Are you talking to him like a lot? No, Nori would argue those. I take that back.
If it takes 2 more days, how long did it say it'd take the ship to be repaired? About a week's time? 4 weeks
4
time?
days. 4 days.
4 days.
4 days.
So, what we could do is we could rest in here. Bryn could sleep, wake up. We teleport, theoretically. Get there. Do whatever the hell. Well, we have to go through a bunch of trial stuff, and who knows how long that's going to take.
And there are people waiting for us.
There are people waiting for us. We're gonna have to hold off on this. Hey, if it comes up real close, we've got another emergency out.
That's what I was thinking, just in case we need to get out of there. Speaking of, I will really quick just send to Zorinth and let him know that we're going to be a little bit later, but not too much longer day-wise. Like days-wise, since this is going a lot faster than I expected, but also thought we weren't that far.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited for the future. I bet almost like 50 channel bits that she won't die today. So
The day's not
we
over.
got this. Let's go.
Really like 10 hours still.
Okay, just to clear up for tomorrow, what do you want to do? Are we doing the double move?
I mean,
Getting there would
Zorinth
be
is
nice.
literally working on a scroll for us, and I wouldn't want to... he's doing it as a favor as fast as he can.
It's more to like get distance, and then Bryn goes to bed in an actual bed, and no moving, so it's not allowed to move either.
Well,
Warren Kaporan's mom that we're gonna be there.
I already told her we were on our way,
Okay, I wasn't sure.
but
She wanted chocolate.
that's
I've
right.
been busy, just couldn't. There's a lot happening. I couldn't remember.
We're going to
been
get
thinking-
chocolate, and the city was destroyed. So
Yeah, I was thinking about this actually, and putting distance in between and going to sleep and stuff like that. If you want to put even more distance in between, we can buy the scroll. And since Zorinth wanted to go down there anyway to check out those things, he could teleport with us back. And that way we would have that half a teleport space along with
probably that
what
was
we
my
already
plan.
have 8 hours ahead. And then we wouldn't have to freak out so quickly,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Why do you think I asked for
Zorinth is not going to be able to
his-
teleport you guys. He can't make a scroll and teleport in the same time frame. Because he's basically dumping his teleport into the scroll over and over and
Oh
over.
no, I meant like on day 5 after he's done it and slept again and studied again, he could come with us the next day. And if Bryn isn't moving at all, or moving very, very slowly, then it's gonna take forever to get to us.
It's a possibility, but as much as you've known Zorin, he hasn't left the town in a long time.
True. But this is also something that he's been wanting to do. And it's just, I'm gonna ask him anyway when we get there, if he wants to
Yeah,
come with
he
us.
expressed interest in the stuff from down there, but not actually going there. Just FYI.
Didn't last time this dude sent us, like, we all almost died?
That-
Just from the
that-
teleport alone?
Yep. That's Nori reaches into the bag and pulls out the puka shell necklace. It's like, that's why I asked for this. If you have an object from the place, Arix told me this. If you have an object from the place you're trying to go, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to do it.
Yeah, he was trying to blind throw you guys in a direction and hope you landed there.
Yeah. So I don't know much about like cleric magic or any divine magic really, but I know a little bit about wizard stuff and a little bit more about druid. So Nori puts it back in the bag.
Well, yeah, that's why I said something from the island instead of something from here. Because we can't teleport to different dimensions. And that's what that room was.
No, it was from, but the
No,
shells.
no,
was
I
from
know,
the
but
island.
originally you asked for something from here and he was looking around the room.
Yes, that was what I was trying to clarify when I
Yeah.
asked for within the last 6 months.
I almost looked into wizard stuff. It was kind of interesting to me there for a second.
Of
I mean,
course
it's
you
still
did.
pretty interesting. It just sounds like a lot of studying that I won't
Oh.
do.
I wonder if I have that standing agreement with Ark still.
Couldn't figure it out for the life of me. I tried so hard. Just Arx cast his first spell when he was like before. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, when I gave him that book, and he just sort of like awkwardly looks over at Caparn and then looks back away. And it was like, he said he owes me one, and he'd teach me some spells if I wanted to.
That was on the ship, right?
No, that was in the.
It was the Valak book, and it was in the same city that my demon split that dude open in half.
Wasn't this? Wait, you gave Arix the book when we were up in Brimstown. Lonatov.
Then I'm not.
No,
sure.
that was a different book.
Oh, I gave him Siren's book, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, the book that he got when we were in the split demon
The one that
town
was
was the one that
infernal.
I got from the Ice Queen's castle.
Oh, the magic book.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you would have given Arix at any point in time in Ixia does not exist here. Because remember, Arix never went with you guys.
Yeah, it makes sense.
With
Yeah,
Nora's new choice, it just never happened.
Does that mean I still have the book?
Nope. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't manifest what you have done in a different timeline, but some things can travel across and other things just can't.
Well, you can manifest what happened in this timeline because I have like 6 shoes now. So
Well, yeah.
everybody.
But yeah, that goes for anything sort of Arix related from the Dash Arix ship and on. Anything with Arix, like to do with an Ixia or interactions or talking to, any of that stuff is moot.
That's why I still have the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my dear brother.
Wait, that means we didn't do the volcano stuff, right?
Or we just did a really good job of the volcano stuff, but probably not.
Well,
Or you could have gotten to the volcano stuff area and gone down a different chute than the one you guys actually did and not landed in the fire giant area of it.
I'm just thinking because that was where we found whatever that black crystal thing was that Valak ended up with. And so, like, does that thing no longer in their custody? Like,
You'd have to ask specifically about that and find out.
wasn't that like Trentemir's brother's piece or something like that? I don't even know.
That
evil
not
piece.
specifically, not his, no.
Yeah, that thing blinded me. That was not a fun day.
Mm-hmm. That was more reminiscent of the black stuff that is up in the ice sheet.
Yeah, but we like knew that that was a fragment of a god. We just didn't know which god.
Yep. So is all that black stuff in the ice sheet.
Oh, if they never got it. Interesting.
All this mind-blowing information just popping out of nowhere.
Yeah, we're all just sitting in a cave figuring out shit, and it's just like, huh.
Oh, fuck, my mom.
All these questions that Jaws had for so long, he can actually voice.
How
That's
nice
fun.
does that feel?
Rather than having to mime it out.
So in the future, we just need to find a cave, seal ourselves up in it for a little bit, and then we'll just start having all these like epiphanies.
Yep, as the oxygen supply slowly drains out and more of it is CO2, you guys start to hallucinate and just opens up those...
There's air holes.
I know, but there's still, you know...
Yeah, that creepy guy's outside with like pieces of cloth shoving him in the holes.
just all
They'll
his
pass
fingers.
out eventually, and then I'll get that soul.
It's just it's growing more arms and just like
Putting fingers in all the
Hugging.
holes.
I'm stocking a different spell tomorrow, and it's going to be great.
Also, I
Yeah.
just imagine as Richard is talking, like he's still doing the mimicking like charades,
Mhm.
but it's just with word vomit instead.
Yeah, of course.
it's the interpretive dance while the person is speaking the slam poetry.
Yeah. Or the mime who's completely forgotten the portion that they're not supposed to talk.
Yeah, I found a spell that I'm going to stock tomorrow. I haven't ever used it. Why haven't I used it? Just continue.
It's gonna be water breathing in. It's just gonna be buckets of water. Polly's gonna create food and water, and you guys just dunk your heads in the whole time.
No, it's a different spell. It's called air bubble, and I haven't even touched it.
Just makes me want to call the Yuri right now. See if she's okay too.
Call whoever you want.
Nah,
Who?
I don't really. Oh, she's a friend of mine that kind of was having a nervous breakdown and took off. But yeah, she had a piece of Trentimer's brother inside of her at that time. But I don't, different timeline, different people. Who knows? I'm just surprised that Libra knows who I am.
Libra is from your last group, right?
Yep.
Is Vinny alive? Am I gonna have to kill him?
Nope, he is not alive. It has been confirmed.
Has it been? I feel like the guy in the sky with the hat said, like, maybe.
No, we had a conversation about it. And, somebody told us that, told us about us and the fact that we went up there and all that stuff.
Yeah, Bryn still got the soul.
Yeah.
Oh, so Vinny's with Illinate too.
Those poor souls.
It's more of protecting other gods from Vinny.
It's like, we're just gonna take you and put you where you can't touch them. Got it.
Leave your soul in the Beastlands, where you would really like to be, I feel like.
No, he wouldn't.
No, not really.
Oh, I didn't know his preferences. I apologize.
There's not enough orgies in the Beastlands
Yeah.
for Vinny.
There isn't. But, nevertheless, anything else? Well, before sleeping in this cave?
Before oxygen.
Possibly? He just picks
don't
up
think
little
so.
stones and just shoves them in each hole.
Or just moves a little closer to the wall with the holes in it, just like, oh, I feel so much better up front. Why?
Alrighty.
Alright. So, with that, you all, slowly but surely, one after another, bed down in your respective areas until eventually everyone coming to sleep. And that's
They all
where
suffocate and die.
possibly. And that's where we end tonight's session, though.
We get a long rest.
I will let you know when you do.
Back.
But until then, you guys have fallen asleep. Any questions before we go? That I can and will answer.
Is Illinade aware that Ritra has Trentimir now, or no?
Oh, he's known the whole time.
Didn't. Okay, he didn't exactly address me at all, so I was very concerned about it.
Well, I mean, he only addressed Bryn and Paul, really. And then Toodaloo motherfuckers.
So rude. So rude. As long as you're still watching my mom, that's fine.
Any other questions?
No question. Just this has been a wacky roller coaster of a session.
Yeah, you... 2 divine intervention rolls on your behalf, and they both hit. One was an 11, one was a 2. And that's how you found the envelope, and Illinade showed up to your response.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I am never owning or renting a house anywhere ever again. Because apparently the city gets destroyed every time I do. Your keep is fucking doomed.
Well, technically, you don't own it, so
We just won't
Bryn
have
owns
you
it.
on
I'm not the
deed.
one who touches the thing.
I didn't own my parents' house, and I was renting the one in Kember, so yeah.
Yeah, but you had
Your
like
name
just
isn't
put
on the
money down
deed.
for it.
wait,
for-
Polly. But technically, our home up in what 3?
Shut up! Don't bring that one into.
Also not my home.
But it's
It was never
our
my home.
It was our home. You had a room. You had a room in it.
Right, but wrong timeline.
For all we know, Pawn is actually dead and gone because we just found this envelope and this thing is
He's fine.
like he set up all these traps. It's gonna be a circus funhouse in there and like a nightmare. But
No worries, my friends will come. It's fine. I have my friends. They're in my friends. book.
Eventually.
They'll be here.
They'll check the one
we tried to reach out to him, didn't we? Did nobody send to him ever?
No
I
one
don't know
has
who
sent,
he is.
He's never met Pawn, and yeah, no one else has sending. So
I need sending. There are
Yeah,
so
we-
many people I need to talk
you
to.
guys are gonna get through the keep and just find Pawn on a throne, just bones, holding a book, his friend's book, and his other hand has like a pen in it, and it's on its way to crossing you guys out.
And then Polly takes his skull and talks to him every once in a while.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Why didn't he use a?
No, Nori wouldn't let you do that. It's like, nope, he gets a goblin burial. We bury him under a pile of trash. It's the way you would want it to be.
But all right, so that's where it ends tonight's session. Be back on Friday. If I don't talk to you all before then, you guys have a great week, and see you then.
Night, y'all.
Night.
Night. Thank you for all of you that stayed with us. Have a great night. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.